Hey everyone, I'm Uttam Singh. Welcome back. And this time we have yet another crash course, and this crash course is on stablecoins. So if you are in Web3 or you are in general in crypto, then stablecoins is a very important topic. And this is more on the technical side of the things, how actually this different types of stablecoins work, what are the importance. You will also go through the code as well. Like there are very less code available on the internet about the stablecoins, but whatever technical side of the things are there on the internet. I have searched, I have done my research, and I have gathered all the information. So you will get a good understanding of all the stable coins after this crash course. And yes, I'm absolutely sure after watching this crash course, you will not have to learn or you will not have to do more of your research on stable coins. I guess this crash course will be more than enough for you to have a general understanding of all the stable coins. And if you haven't watched my last crash course, go and watch it. It was on EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, like core technical working of the things, and it got a good response, like 1,000 views in a month, which I was not expecting. My subscribers are low, but yeah, my goal is to create good content. If you like it, like I'm really grateful you guys liked it and teach people about Web3. My goal is I could have charged for this, but I am doing it for free. I just want to teach. So please, I request you to please share this on Twitter and LinkedIn. And also just, because if you like it, YouTube algorithm takes it to a boom. So yeah, it would be helpful if you can like this video and also comment that, you like this crash course if you like it, obviously. And then, yeah, do tag me on Twitter and LinkedIn and let me know. I also have some work for you inside this crash course. So it would be a good journey for you. So let's start our crash course on stablecoin. So let's start it. And one more thing before we move ahead, if you are a slow watcher, I don't know if I'm moving fast, if I'm moving slow, just go to the playback speed on YouTube. Just do the settings, maybe do it 1.5x, 1.5x, 1.25x. Or if I'm going too fast for you, you can slow it down. But yeah, it would be great for you to, choose the speed accordingly. I don't know if I'm doing this fast. I thought like last time I was going a little slow, but yeah, if you should choose the playback speed. So please just choose your playback speed according to you, whatever suits you. So let's start it. So the agenda for crash course on stablecoin is first of all we will go into what are stablecoins, like just the basic stuff, like what is stablecoins actually. If you are absolute beginner into this space, you don't know about it. Then just definition, the types of stablecoins, what are different types of stablecoins in the market right now. What is the actual importance of it? Like why we are talking about stablecoins? What is one of the most important topic in the Web3 and the crypto space? And then we will talk about understanding the mechanics behind stablecoins. So there are like a lot of terms involved, like pegging, collateralization, algorithmic stability. Like we will discuss all of that small just stuff in like a few seconds, few minutes, and then we will move on to our main topic, that is like types of stable coins. What are different types of stable coins in the market? Like there are four types of stable coins. I will not read it, but yeah, there are different types of stable coins. What are they? And in that stable coins, in that category, like in the types of stable coins, we have different coins as well, right? So I will choose a single coin, I will choose a two coins, and then which coins are very famous, and we will go to that. Like we will go through that. Like we have Tether, we have USDC coin. So we will understand. We will take it individually. We will go through the code base as well, and then we will discuss all these coins like DAI and other tokens, other coins as well. Then we have risk and challenges, like what are the risks involved with the stable coins, like regulatory uncertainty, liquidity, right? Also, there have been a lot of different events which were bad for stable coins. We might discuss few of them. And then we will discuss the future of stablecoins, like potential applications, what are the new stablecoins in the market, if there is any new type of the stablecoins or whatever. We will also go through some tweets from few famous persons like Vitalik or whoever person who is good in this space. I mean, active on Twitter. If you're not active on Twitter, just go and follow me. There's links is in the description. And also, if you already know the basics, you can skip directly to the types. Or if you want to learn, understand, or if you want to understand this particular coin like USDT, USDC, DAI, by MakerDAO, or whatever coin, I will just put the time over there. So you can just choose the particular stable coin. And then you can directly go through that. If that is helpful to you, you can skip this part. But yeah, if you think if I'm going slow or fast, just change the playback speed according to you, whatever you feel is good for you. Okay. Yeah. So let's move ahead and start our crash course. Okay. So first the question is like why stable coins? Like why do we actually need a stable coin, right? Why do we actually care about stable coin? So imagine this crypto is too volatile for monetary use for it. Like, I mean, you can't use Bitcoin for common transaction. You can't use Ethereum for common transaction. Like, it doesn't have a stable buying power. Like, you don't want. So, for example, if you go to the market right tomorrow and you want to buy some oranges or you want to buy some fruits or whatever it is. So if you go to the market today and the same price, whatever the price of Bitcoin is, you will be able to maybe buy three apples, right? But what if the next day you go again to the same market and he says that now you can buy 10 apples in one Bitcoin, right? So that will be really bad for you. It will be like, hey, this is my loss. So, it is crypto is not very good for, doing a no common transaction. It is very, very volatile. I mean, you can see the chart as well. Like Bitcoin is like really up and down, up and down. Whatever the rate is, I don't know. What would be the rate in future. But yeah, this is you can see the chart as well. Like this is very, very volatile and not good enough for common transaction. And also one more, like even though people do talk about like crypto is the future or Bitcoin is the future, Bitcoin is going to go to $100,000 or Balaji saying that Bitcoin is going to 1 million in 90 days. But people don't put their life saving in crypto. Like people just only put their investment portfolio. People don't go all in on crypto, right? Because it's too volatile. Like they don't put their all life savings in crypto. There are people who do this, but I will not suggest to put all your life saving in crypto. I mean, it's too volatile, right? So crypto can't be used as a standard for paying salary or giving a loan, right? So this is also one of the problems. Like companies don't use Ethereum to give the salaries. Companies mostly use all these stable coins even to give salaries to their employees or giving loans to the people. They don't want to use Bitcoin as a loan value or So it's too volatile, right? You understand it, right? And now why this is why we need stable coins because crypto is very, very volatile, right? And now, I mean, what is stablecoin? So it's actually so stablecoin is a crypto asset that is designed to have a relatively stable coins, right? As the names even suggest, right? The primary purpose of stablecoin is to maintain a relatively constant value. I mean, obviously, it's very hard to get all the time constant value, so relatively constant value, and function as a reliable medium of exchange. I mean, that is not subjected to the volatility of other cryptocurrencies. I mean, whatever the price of Bitcoin is, $100,000, 30,000, 20,000, whatever the price is, no matter what, the stablecoin's price will remain stable. Right? It will not be affected by the price of any other cryptocurrency. Right? As I said, like I gave you the example of Apple as well, right? If you want Apple or oranges, whatever you want, buy a fruit, you go there, you one day you get 5 apples, the next day you get 10 apples. It's like yeah, you will be pissed off. Like it was it was not good for me that I got the 5 apples yesterday, and now they're giving me 10, right? This is not good and nobody wants that, right? So that's why you need stable coins actually to grow into this space. Like if you want crypto to go ahead, stable coins are playing a very, very important role in the industry, right? So yeah, again, let's discuss few of the most important topics, few of the most important, importance of stable coins, like use cases of stable coins, right? So I mean, there are different use cases for stable coins, but I have just write down three of them, which are like I feel is the most important. Stable coins have also become a key building block for all the DeFi protocols, like many DeFi protocols, like on which asset owners can invest their stable coins for set periods of time to earn a certain percentage of yield without risking their investment, losing value through market volatility, right? This is a very bad thing. So similarly, I mean, DeFi lending protocols, there are several DeFi lending protocols, including multi-billionaire dollar platforms like Aave, Compound, I mean, these exist to enable lenders to provide loans to borrowers in the form of stablecoins. Right? I mean, imagine if these loans were denominated in a volatile asset such as Bitcoin, the lending platforms could not function. Seriously, it could not function. And when the value of Bitcoin went up, borrowers' collateral would be insufficient to cover the value of the loan, right? I mean, the Bitcoin fell, borrowers would be left with diminished funds in terms of dollars. Like as a result, all these lending protocols would be in a constant state of chaos. Like, you would even imagine like Bitcoin goes, I don't know, maybe 30K on $30,000 in one day and just crashes back to 25,000 another day, right? So, and this way, all these lending platforms, borrowing platforms could not function, right? I mean, it will be a constant state of chaos. So they can only function because borrowers receive their loans in form of stablecoins that actually holds a steady value for the duration of the loan, right? This is like very important. And all these DeFi protocols are using stablecoins to provide all these loans, all that are doing all that stuff, earning yields, etc. Right? And yes, it's also act as a reliable medium of exchanges. As I said, like purchase power is relatively stable in the stable coins, and yeah, so it act as a reliable medium of exchange. People can actually use it for buying stuff and doing daily transaction, day-to-day transaction. Another thing is that it is very quick and easy way for crypto traders to ensure price stability for their holdings. Like for example, converting cryptocurrency for free fiat currency can take like hours or even days, right? If you go to Binance, I mean, it takes a lot of efforts if you have your crypto on a ledger or I don't know, whatever device you are. You have to open your ledger, get your data transferred to exchange, and then on exchange, you then have to sell it. I don't know, there are like lots of things involved. I don't even like it, right? So if you are a regular trader, it will be very important for you to actually convert it into or just use directly stable coins. You don't want to get fiat and it is like a very easy and quick way for crypto traders to ensure price stability even of their holdings. Like if a trader you don't want to put your money in volatile cryptocurrencies, you want it to be safe, right? You can just directly convert it to a stable coin, so even keep it digitally, keep it on your ledger, still stable for you, right? So there are several use cases like this. I mean, DeFi industry is like booming and very bullish in stable coins. So yeah, and DeFi is definitely the future. I'm very bullish on it. You should also be bullish on it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all about stable coins importance. There are several use cases. If you want, you can just Google more, find out what are the good use cases, and yeah, post it on Twitter and LinkedIn, and do tag me that you watched this video and you are loving this crash course yet. So let's move on to our next topic, that is understanding the mechanics. So now we know what stablecoins are, what's the importance of it, and we have some use cases as well. So now I'll actually understand the mechanics behind the stablecoins. So one thing is pegging. Okay, so what is pegging? Pegging refers to anchoring the underlying asset's value to an external asset. Like, so pegging formally means currencies pegs, which refers to where currency's exchange rate is actually fixed to match another currency or basket of another asset. Essentially, this means that exchange rate between two currencies always, almost all the time, it remains the same. And what does actually pegging means in specifically in crypto? Like in the normal terms, like pegging is more of like currency and other stuff like a normal currency. But in crypto, what does pegging mean? Like in cryptocurrency, pegging actually refers to anchoring the underlying asset's value to an external asset, usually in 1-to-1 ratio. Usually 1-to-1 ratio. It can be in any other ratio, but yeah, it's done so that the pegged asset actually mimics the price movements of the other asset or a currency. So both USDC, like USDC is a very famous USDC and USDT, both are like the one of the famous and most trusted stable coins right now in the market. And so both of them are US dollar pegged. That is 1 unit of this stable coin, like 1 unit of USDC, 1 unit of USDT can be exchanged for $1. Whenever you are, like wherever you are, If you hold a USDC, it can be exchanged for one USDC can be exchanged for $1, like literally $1. Okay? And depending on the type of stable coins, digital currency can be pegged using different methods, maintaining reserves. Like for example, USDC and USDT maintain reserves for the stable coins. We'll talk more about this when we talk about USDC and USDT. But yeah, there are different types of the other is using algorithm. I mean, Terra was one of the algorithmic stable coin. We will talk about that. Why I'm laughing, I will also tell you why I'm laughing on that. But yeah, it was also one of the stable coins that uses algorithm to actually peg the value of the cryptocurrency along with the dollar or whatever you want to peg it with. Okay. So yeah, this is what pegging is, and now we will talk about depegging, right? So we understand what pegging is. Pegging is simply getting a one-to-one ratio with another currency, like maybe a dollar or anything else. And now, what is depegging? Depegging is the opposite of pegging. Like it refers to the phenomenon of stablecoin deviating from its intended peg. So depegging refers to actually the phenomena of stablecoin deviating from its intended peg. Like for example, USDC or USDT, if they are pegged with $1, it means that their value should, always be pegged, always be $1, right? In terms of if you want to exchange, right? But if that goes down, like if the value is not $1, then it is called a depegging event, right? And for instance, if USD pegged stable coins drops in value, as I said, under $1, then this coin is said to be depegged. Like, and what causes this sudden depegging? Like recently, when I'm watching and creating this crash course, USDC currently depegged. Like, why? Because there was bank crash. Like, bank was going down, 2-3 bank crashed, right? So that's why it got a little unstable. The market got a little unstable. And then the USDC depegged, which means the value of USDC got below $1. But after a few certain of time, it got back to $1, and a lot of people traded this and made a lot of profit. So what can cause this sudden depegging in the stable coins? It depends like what type of stable coin it is. So mostly like mismatched reserves, I guess. Like market, when it outperforms the algorithm, there is more of mismatch in the reserves and all these crashes and these big news. People tend to fire a lot, and then they got panic and they sell USDC. So there are a lot of different events that causes depegging. If you want, you can go and learn more about the event that recently happened. Creating the CPU USDC depegged, why it happened, and why any stable coins get depegged. Okay, so yeah, this is what depegging is. Now let's move on to another topic, that is collateralization. So what is collateralization? Simply in collateralization, just a simple word, it's the process of using one asset as a choice of securing a loan in a different asset. So in simple terms, like if you want to get a loan for your education or whatever it is, you just have to just provide something as a collateralization, right? In terms simple terms, the collateralization is the process of offering one type of asset, like especially in crypto, like any asset, any commodity or any cryptocurrency, anything that holds a value in order to receive a loan in a different asset. Like one important talking about MakerDAO. Like so, MakerDAO stablecoin, like MakerDAO stablecoin is DAI, right? Just DAI is one of the stablecoin that is actually backed to US dollar, but it is backed by Ethereum. We will talk more about it. Like you can see in the diagram as well. Like it is backed by Ether in terms of whatever the value of Ether is. We will talk more about it when we talk about DAI token, which is a very very interesting token and one of my most lovable token. Now let's talk about our next topic. Like what are the different types of stable coins that are present in the market? So we have now understand what are stable coins, why it is important. Not let's talk about types of stable coins, what are the stable coins that are present in the market. So whenever you Google search, you will find these four types of stable coins that are usually, talked about. They can be different. Maybe in future there is a new type of stable coins, but right now there are four of them. The first one is Fiat Collateralized, the second one is Commodity Collateralized, the third one is Crypto Collateralized, and fourth one is non-collateralized. So that's why, discuss those important topics like words like collateralization, different other words. So if you are very new to this space, you must have known, any of these terms. So yeah. So the first one is the fiat collateralized. Let's just go through all these stable coins one by one. We will go through all this, but yeah, let's just take an overview. So fiat collateralized. So in the fiat collateralized, the value of stable coins is stable. So the value of stable coin is stable as far as now what we have understood. It is divided is called stable coin because the value of the coin is stable and not volatile. And because it is backed to a reserved asset, and in simple words, a reserved asset backed it. Like, for example, our currency used to be backed by gold back then, but now it is not backed by anything. But yeah, our usual currency was backed by gold back then. So, depending on what kind of reserve asset is backing the value of stable coins, there are different types of stable coins that are there in the markets. First one is fiat collateralized. It is fiat-backed stablecoin. Stablecoins that are actually backed by real-world currencies in one-to-one ratio, right? Then we have commodity collateralized. It is more like stablecoin that uses commodities like gold, silver, real estate, or any metals to provide the stability. Then we have crypto collateralized. It means that it is your cryptocurrency is actually backed by crypto or any other crypto, right? And the other one is non-collateralized, which means also known as algorithmic stablecoins. Like, I don't know, there is a little difference between algorithmic stablecoins and non-collateralized, but most of the algorithmic stablecoins are non-collateralized. Maybe there, I don't know, maybe there will be a new coin or it is there already, like any algorithm that is actually, collateralized. But stablecoins usually, that use algorithmics to control the supply and achieve stability in the marketplace are mostly known as non-collateralized or algorithmic stablecoins, right? Now let's deep dive into all these types and discuss more cryptocurrencies, different stable coins, whatever, different stable coins are there in this type, right? So let's move on and first let's discuss fiat collateralized type. Okay. So fiat collateralized, they have backing of fiat currencies such as euro or the US dollar. These stable coins associated with any value of a specific fiat currency. You can choose euro, you can choose US dollar, whatever it is like. And fiat collateralized stable coins are like the simplest stable coins. Like it is not very complex. It's very simple stable coins with one-to-one ratio backing. Right, the one-to-one ratio implies that it actually implies that one stable coins would be equal to one unit of currency, such as $1 or €1, whatever that is backed by. Okay, so for example, if an issuer has $10, 10 million of fiat currency, it can only distribute 10 million stable coins, each worth $1. So if you, for example, you have 10 million of fiat currency, 10 million of US dollar, then you can only distribute if not you, although obviously the issuer of the issuer of the stable coin will only distribute 10 million stable coin, each worth $1. Because our fiat money, as I said, was once backed by gold, and that's a good example of how to understand the fiat collateralized. But now our currency is not backed by gold; it is not backed by anything. That's the trouble. Now let's go deeper into USDC and USDC. As I said, like USDC and USDT is one of the most famous stable coins in the market, even in terms of market capitalization as well, and like very well known stable coins. And yes, some of the biggest stable coins in this category by market value are USDC and USDT, and the other ones are Gemini dollar, and then we have True USD. This is one of the also one of the famous stable coins. But yeah, one thing to realize that this type of stable coins are centralized. Like this is one of the problem with this type of fiat collateral. We will talk more about the working of this space, like working of this fiat collateral, and you will actually understand yourself why this is centralized. Right? We will actually go through the core of the USDC and USDC, and there are several features as well that are present in USDT and USDC. which makes it a little decentralized. You will go through the smart contract, you will understand all the functions that are present in the smart contract of USDC and USDT, right? So let's move on and talk about USDT first. What is USDC? So originally, it was named as real coin. Yes, most of the people don't know it, but yeah, originally it was named as real coin. The token could not compete with popular altcoins. However, after a series of updates, it changed its name to Tether or USDT, and altered its humans technology, whatever, like real coin to USDT. Right. So USDT debuted in around 2014, and right now the market cap is 79.7 billion. Like whenever I'm making this video, market cap is $79.7 billion. So what does this means? Which means that there is some place where this amount of USD is reserved, right? So there might be a place, I don't know, wherever this is, like USDC or Tether issuer, have this much amount of like $79.7 billion stored somewhere in form of USD. Okay. And this is the third largest market cap coin after Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yes, and overall, all the cryptocurrencies out there, this is the third largest market cap coin after Bitcoin and Ethereum. So technically, the working of USDT is very, very simple. So if you are someone who wants USDT, right, and you have dollars, so they submit $1 to the reserve, and the authority, it is Tether limit, mints the same amount of USDT to the address provided. Keep in mind, they are not mined; they are just issued, right? If we compare it to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Bitcoin is mined, but USDT is not mined; they are just issued. Okay. Very important thing to remember. Okay, now I guess this is all about USDT stablecoin. And now there is one problem. Like there is a problem with these type of stablecoins. Now we actually don't know how much reserve is actually present in the bank, right? It's not like crypto is transparent. Like I mean, it's just not. Crypto is very transparent. Like you can see all the transaction in crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum, whatever transaction are going on. But this is not transparent, right? So what if one day you go or everyone goes to the bank like, hey, we want all the stable coins. Like we have this USDT, I want my US dollar back. So will they be able to do it, right? So if one day everyone wants dollar in terms of their USDT, right? Will they be able to do it? I don't know. Maybe yes and maybe no. Right? So this can create chaos, and there is no full transparency like of your Tether. I mean, the Tether obviously releases some stats, but they are not frequent enough. Will be very honest. Like they release some kind of stats. I don't know, every month, every quarter, or whenever they want to. They release some kind of stats every month or every quarter, but they are not as much as frequent. Like you can't question them, obviously, and there is no full transparency regarding this, right? So this is like one of the problem with USDT stablecoin that is actually present in a market. You can actually read about the blogs and stuff that are actually present that talks about what is the problem with the USDT coin. And now let's jump on actually to the code of USDT smart contract. Okay. So yeah, let's move on to that. Okay, so now let's move on to the code walkthrough of Tether smart contract. So yeah, let's move on actually to Etherscan and see the Tether smart contract. Okay. So here I am on Etherscan. Like this is the actual contract of USDT that is deployed on Ethereum network. I could have also gone to any other network, but yeah, let's do it on Ethereum one. So this is the info. I guess this is the right address. Yeah, token checker USDT. Right, and now let's move on to the code. Like, what is the code for USDC? Okay, and this says you can also actually find the audit report as well. If you like, you can read it. Yeah, let's move on to a smart contract. So let's understand the smart contracts and what are the function that are involved. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. I don't know if I can do it. Yeah, that's good enough for you guys. I hope you are able to see it. You can even just go and search the code on the Google. You will find it. Okay. So this is like the simple smart contract. It is like very simple smart contract, not a very complex one. Okay, so this is like the library that has been used. Our I guess token contract is below. It shows all the libraries that have been used in the smart contract. Okay, so I guess we are here. Yeah, so it's USDT is a ERC20 smart contract on Ethereum. You can check out there. There are it's ERC20 token. There are say functions like transfer function or approve function and all that kind of functions that are present in a simple ERC20 token. Okay. And yeah, there is like one more things that are presented. Like there is a unique feature in USDT, this kind of stablecoin that is blacklist function, right? So whenever they want, these guys, like the issuer, the owner, can actually blacklist any of the address that supports that has USDT, right? So this function can be called, like there is a function called add blacklist present here, and that is there you what you will pass is you will pass the address of the user whichever you want to blacklist, right? And once this user is blacklisted, they will not be able to call the transfer function and transfer their USDT from one address to another. We'll look into it, like there will be a I don't know, modifier or whatever, so that the user who is in the list of add blacklisted, right? The area of add blacklisted, they will not be able to call the transfer function, right? So, and there is obviously only owner. There is maybe a modifier which says that only the owner of the function, owner of the contract can call it. Yeah, so just blacklisted, there is an array of it. So there is, I guess, a mapping of it, and you can add this address to this array of this evil user, which is like blacklisted people array, blacklisted people addresses information. And yeah, then there is event that is emitted once once the function is called. This must be an event. Yeah, I guess must be somewhere. Yeah, it is the event that is being emitted whenever the contract or any other. Yeah, this is the event that is emitted whenever you add another blacklisted address or when you call the blacklist function, right? Then we have remove blacklist. You can actually, the owner can use it to again remove any address from the blacklist mapping or blacklist array, right? Whatever you want to call. Okay. And then again, there will be an event that will be emitted. You can see it in logs. Okay. And there is also one more function of destroy black ones. So whatever assets are in those blacklisted smart contract, blacklisted address, right? This function can actually destroy all the funds that are presented in those address, and then it will again remove the funds from the total supply as well. So that's what you see. Here is the centralization part of this stable coin, right? This is one of the most, I guess it's useful, obviously, because in some cases there might be some terrorists doing some stuff, and the US government, any government goes to these guys. It is helpful to do this, but it is not more of like a decentralized code, not like Web3 dedicated stuff, not dedicated to Web3 value side. So this is a little bit problem, but yeah. So this is again our contract, the simple name, simple ERC20 token. Then whenever this function will be called, like I guess this is the constructor, so the total supply, initial supply, the name, symbol, USDT, all that stuff. And then we have the transfer function, right? So this transfer function is like, it says like it always checks if it is the blacklisted, the address which is calling this transfer function, message.sender, right? If this is blacklisted, then he or she, the address, will not be able to call the transfer function, right? And there is one more modifier, which is when not paused, it also checked like if the transfer function or if if the actually the USDT contract is not paused, right? So there will be, I don't know, maybe a modifier which says that USDT, if it is paused, then it will not be able to call, anybody will not be able to call the transfer function, right? So not decentralized, dude. Yeah. So then there is another function, transfer from. This simply takes another address input, like not just directly do it from message.sender, right? Again, it's check if it is blacklisted, and then this have the balance of to find out the balance of the particular address, and then we have different functions like approve, analysis, all the functions that have presented in any ERC20 token, total supply. Yeah, these are, I guess, all the functions that are present in ERC20 token. So if you don't know about ERC20 tokens, just go and read about ERC20 token, right? What is that? It will be good for you. So yeah, this is like a very simple smart contract. I just wanted to go through these functions like blacklist functions and all these modifiers that are present in the smart contract that actually matters, and what makes it unique and different and not decentralized. I guess I would call it decentralized, not decentralized. But yeah, up to you if you want to call it good. I mean, there is definitely good things that you can do with the blacklisted things. But yeah. Okay, so let's move on to our next stable coin, that is USDC. So USDC is almost same as USDT. It's almost a smart contract the same. There is some extra functionalities. And recently USDC issuer like Circle, because Circle, we'll talk about it. They recently launched one good new feature, that is CCTP, cross-chain transfer protocol. We will actually learn about it. So let's move on to our next stable coin, that is USDC. Okay, so let's talk about USDC. So USDC stable coin is also a digital currency that is fully backed by US dollar asset, like again 1-to-1 ratio. I mean, right now when I click this picture, it is not $1, it is $0.995 when I creating this video. So yeah, I mean, usually it is back to 1-to-1 with US dollar. Well, in this case, USDC case, there is an organization called Circle, which issues the Bitcoin. Like in USDT, it was Tether Limited one. In here, it is a Circle one, right? And I don't know if they actually have a DAO or not, but yeah. So, well, they claim to be more transparent. No, Circle doesn't have DAOs. So that's an organization. So we have, they claim, Circle claims to be USDC claims to be more transparent than USDT. I mean, it's usually the same as USDT, but what they do is they have more transparency than USDT, and they're showcasing the reserves and are more regular in sharing those stuff as compared to USDT and what market has seen as of now. And yeah, I mean, this is all about USDC. It's same as USDT, and the market cap, as you can see right now, the market cap is you can see the market cap over there. So the same again thing is that this coins, like this much amount of dollars, are actually, as they say, they have this amount of US-based currency in their banks, or they have the Circle actually says, like wherever they are, they have this amount of stable coins. Okay, so and also one more thing, all these issuers, all these organizations, they don't keep it as it is. I mean, they have the right to actually invest the USD, the dollar, to anywhere else. Like for example, you want in the future, you want a USDC, right? So what the process will be, you go to Circle, you submit your reserve, you have $10,000, you submit it, USDC. You can definitely get it from any other exchanges, but if you want to directly issue USDC, you can just submit your reserve and you can issue USDC, right? But these Circle, this organization, have this right to, and they also do. They take some part of your money and they invest in separate things like government bonds or whatever stuff are just like traditional banks, right? Traditional banks also does the same thing. They take your money, they keep some amount of money in the bank, and they invest some amount of money. Okay. All right. So again, Circle USDC is fifth largest in terms of market capitalization, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT. There is one more, I don't know what which that is, and then we have USDC. Okay. So now let's again walk through the code of USDC, and we will also discuss one important feature they just recently launched, like which is CCTP, cross-chain transfer protocol. We will talk about that. And also, they have integrated it with Wamo. So, Wamo, if you don't know, it is a cross-chain bridge. Okay. My Solana, right? So, we will talk about that. So, let's go through the code base of USDC. So, let me again move to Etherscan, and let's check out USDC smart contract. Okay. Okay, so I found out this USDC contract on Etherscan. Again, same to same as USDT. You can find all this stuff, all the details over there, and you can find the contract. So this is the contract that is for USDC. I actually went to their GitHub and find out they have all the things explained on their GitHub. So rather than actually seeing this, let's move on to their GitHub, which actually explains is very better, and it will be good for you to understand things as well. So this is like the center, like circle. They have this GitHub repository. I will provide the link in the description, which you can visit, right? So they have all this stuff present over there. And when we say the contract one, okay. So this, they have all this main function. They have already, discussed, like pausable, which you can pause stuff, right? The entire contract can be frozen in case of serious bug is found. Same to same as USDT, this contract can be frozen again, then it is upgradable, which is a proxy contract is used. So not recently, but yeah, Circle issued a V2 USDC, which has some extra functionalities, and how they were able to do it because their contract is upgradable. That is, they are using proxy contract, which is one of the important things in Solidity. If you are Solidity developer, I don't know if you are not, but I'm planning to create one video on proxy contract as it is very important. It is also very dangerous as well. Why it is dangerous, we will talk about it. So yeah, this upgradable, they have their V2 function. We will talk about that as well, V2 contract. Okay. Then again, the blacklist one that was again same to same as USDT. And then we have minting and burning, how minting and burning function, and ownable function. So let's move on to another code that I found in their repository, right? So this is more like explaining the design of the token. Okay. So they have three tokens. They have rows, different kind of rows. One is master minter, which adds and removes minters and increase their minting allowances. So there are several minters present, right? Which or whoever could issue USDC, they are called minters. So they are minters. They can actually add and remove minters, right? And they are minters, right? These minters can destroy and create token. Okay. So again, these stable coins is not Web3 variable, like not decentralized. I would say that. Okay. They have the pauser one, the rule which can pause the contract, and the blacklister one, the one who can blacklist all the addresses so that all the minting and the transfer function or minting and burning function cannot be called. Then we have owner function, which can be reassign any of the rows, like except for admin. Okay, and then admin is the upgrade the contract and reassign itself, which should be able to, do the proxy stuff. Okay. Then we have, again, this is a ERC20 token, so transfer from all this function that are present, and then simple ERC20 token. And then I guess then nothing as such is important, like they have just discussed the functions like minting function, how it works, and burning function, how that works. Okay. Then again, the blacklisting function, adding a blacklisting address, how you can do that. There will be a function that you will have to call, pass on to the address, and only, I guess, the owner would be able to do that. Remove from blacklisted address, pausing, and again, reassigning roles, how these things work. You should, if you are really interested in the token design, you can go through that, and it will be helpful for you to understand if you want to do that. Okay. So this is actually a smart contract of USDC. This is version 1, like Fiat token V1. There is also V2 we will discuss here in this blog. This was one of the interesting blogs that I found out. So this is a smart contract that imports these different libraries with the different functions. Then, yeah, it's a ERC20 token, as we discussed already. There are different events that will be emitted in future. You can check all these stuff, and I guess you can just go through the important stuff in this smart contract. There is a modifier, the only emitter, which will be checked while calling a function. Okay. So again, this is like a mint function. Person and the actual function to mint USDC. Again, it is minted. It is not, as mined as Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, right? That is, it's not central. It's not decentralized. It is centralized, I guess, right? And yeah, this is like simple functions that you can check out. I don't know if you know Solidity or not, but yeah, this is like very simple functions that you can check out. Balance of approve function, all this ERC20 functions that are present. Let me see if there is anything important to actually discuss and to tell. This is like the burn function, which you can use to burn the smart contract, and there is like all this minter stuff that was new in there as compared to USDT. But yeah, this is like same as USDT, and yeah. Okay. So now let's move on to USDC V2. Right. So there is a function there. It might be present in there. Yeah, this is the one. V2 is there. Yes, it is there. Function V2, V2 dot. So this is the smart contract that is present. So you can actually check that out. But yeah, I guess this blog on Coinbase, this was actually something that I found interesting and useful. So let's check out this blog and understand this blog rather than going through the code base. Okay. So USDC, they issued V2 version of this. It was on 31st December 2020. So it's been a long time, obviously. Making this in 2023. I don't know what year you are watching this. But yeah, USDC V2 version, USDC smart contracts, why they were able to, how they were able to upgrade this contract. As I know, if you are a little confused if the smart contracts are, immutable, yes, they are immutable, but there are certain sub functions, that is proxy contract, that you can use. So what you can do is like users just use this proxy contract, and this proxy contract just transfers or delegates all the calls that are present, like from whatever the call is, the delegates call to another smart contract, and then you can change the point of the contract, like you can change the actual implementation contract, right? Whatever this contract, proxy contract is pointing to at, you can change that whenever you have any new version, just like this. You have this old version, user doesn't understand it. Like just on the back end side, this stuff is going on. User doesn't understand what is this stuff. So, for user, it is nothing has changed. There might be extra functionalities, extra functions that you can call as a user. But yeah, this is like simple stuff how proxy contract works. There is delegate call to another address, and if you have a V2 version, you can just directly, point it to another, the new smart contract of the next version, and it delegates call to that smart contract. Okay. And one of the things is that these smart contracts, the proxy smart contracts, are very dangerous. Yes, they are very dangerous. So it is recommended to only use proxy contract until and unless it is not required. Like you only use proxy contract until and unless there is no other way. Right? It is very dangerous. There are a lot of hacks that has happened. A lot of bugs seem to that are exploited in the proxy contract. So yeah, don't use it unless and unless until unless you don't need it. Okay. storage slots. Like that is one of the problem with smart contract. I guess I am planning to create one video on storage slot. I will definitely do it after this crash course. Okay. Let's talks about simply the storage slots, about the stuff, more of the technical stuff. Let's not go through that. I mean, it's just solidity specific. So I guess if there is something useful, it talks about some useful functions that they changed in the V2 version. I don't know if there is anything. It just says how, the USDC V2 version is implemented, right? So this is the working of this stuff, right? How the USDC V2 contract is upgradable and it was deployed and other stuff that you can check out. Okay. This is like the upgrade process flowchart, which you can check out if you are a developer. It must be very important to you to understand how these smart contract functions, smart contract, upgradation takes place. It is very important. So yeah. Okay, so I guess this is all about this V2 version. There were new features in the smart contract that I wanted to talk about, but I couldn't find any major differences. I guess there were some functions that were introduced. I guess increased allowances was one of them, decreased allowances was one of them, permit was one of them, cancel authorization was one of them. Okay. So yeah, this was like most important changes in V2 version. This was more of, I guess, not much extension or much useful for users. I don't see it much useful for users. But yeah, if you want, you can actually explore this smart contract. Might be useful for you to understand. And actually, if you do research, if you found something special in V2, find out and just comment in the below YouTube video, just crash course, so that other people can understand, or post it on Twitter and LinkedIn. Tag me, tell me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm not wrong. I would love to see if people are learning from my videos, Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to our next stablecoin, I guess. One thing is left, yes. So recently, Circle, the organization behind USDC, they launched new stuff that is Ethereum, that is cross-chain transfer protocol, that is also known as CCTP, cross-chain transfer protocol. So this is like the latest law. Circle launches cross-chain USDC transfer protocol for Ethereum Avalanche. So basically, right now, I don't know if you know how bridges work usually, right? Let me actually take and explain it to you guys. Just give me a moment. Okay, so now let's talk about why this, USDC, new feature called CCTP cross-chain transfer protocol is actually, very useful, and why it is maybe going to be a game changer. Because do you know how, I want to understand, first of all, how the actual bridges work, like how the simple bridges, working of the bridges is. So, for example, let's talk about Polygon bridge, right? So I know about it little much. So let's actually talk about that bridge only. So, for example, imagine that you have your Ethereum. Okay, I'm a little terrible at it. I just recently watched the tablet, so yeah, please bear with me with my handwriting. Okay, so you have Ethereum on Polygon network. Okay, Polygon. I don't know. Okay, so you have your Ethereum on Polygon network, and then what you want to do is you want to transfer your Ethereum to actually Ethereum network or Ether. Okay, whenever people say Ethereum, I guess that is not a good thing. Ether is the token and the Ethereum is the network. Okay. So yeah, suppose you have Ethereum on the Polygon network and you want to transfer your token to Ethereum network itself. So how this will work is that okay. So what will happen is, so there is no actual bridge. There is actually no flow of tokens. Like there is, it's just bridges, right? We just say bridges. So for example, this is the Polygon network, this is the Ethereum network. So there is actually no flow of tokens. Don't feel like there is actually a flow of token. Matic has been, the Ethereum has been gone to Polygon chain to the Ethereum chain. This is not happening. This is not how it works. So what usually happens is that this is the Polygon chain, okay, and this is, for example, the Ethereum chain, okay. So what will happen is, suppose you want to transfer your token from Polygon to Ethereum or Ethereum to Polygon, whatever it is, right? So for example, let's say you want to transfer it from Ethereum to Polygon. Okay. So what will happen is that you have, 100 Ether. Okay. That's a lot, but yeah. Suppose you have 100 Ether here. So what you will do is, there will be a smart contract on the Ethereum network. Okay. So what you will do is, what the bridge will usually do is, it is the backend side of the things. Bridge doesn't will show you this. So it will take your 100 Ether, it will lock it into the smart contract that is present on Ethereum network, right? And then what it will do is, like, this smart contract, I know, will submit a proof to the Polygon chain. Okay, so this is all the backend side. You submit. So as a user, you just want this 100 Ether you submit it to Ethereum smart contract, Ethereum chain, to be on the Polygon chain, right? This is what you want. You want it to be on the Polygon chain, right? So what usually happens on the backend side is that your 100 Ether will get locked in a smart contract on the Ethereum network, and then what will happen is that basically it will submit a proof or whatever the underlying thing of the Polygon smart contract is, Polygon bridges. This simply, this will create a function, like this will give a proof to smart contract here that, hey, this particular address, this particular user has actually logged 100 Ethereum on Ethereum network. So what you can do is, you can issue the 100 Ethereum on the Polygon chain itself. Okay. So this is how simply, the transfer of token works. Like, you can actually let me take that user and just remove this. Okay, so this is terrible pen. Okay. So you can definitely choose between different color. Okay. So I have chosen, I don't know what color. But yeah, this is how usually it works. Like, you have in the Ethereum, you lock it in the Ethereum network. It submits a proof or says that, hey, this user has this address, has actually logged some kind of Ethereum over here. So what you can do is, you can just issue the smart contract. You can just issue the actual Ether on this network as well. Right? This is what simply how bridges work, and this is how you transfer your token from one network to another, right? So this is little, complex, and people say that it might, get hacked and stuff. So this is like, Ethereum is a layer one, Polygon is a layer two. This is like a simple transfer, but there are several bridges that do cross-chain transfer of the things, cross-chain transfer of the assets, like from Ethereum to another layer one, like Avalanche, Solana, like Wormhole Bridge. We'll talk about that, right? So this is one of the things that happens. Okay, so this is like a layer one to layer two. Maybe there's Arbitrum, Optimus, they have their own bridges, right? So this is actually a safer bridge, safer side of the thing. So this is how usually, the bridges works. Okay. So once you have logged this smart contract, hey, your Ether on the Ethereum chain, you have this on, you get issued the same thing on the Polygon network. Now, what if you want to remove this? You want to take your Ethereum again from Polygon network to the Ethereum network back. So what you can do is, you can, hey, this is all on the backend side of the things. You will not see it as a user. You will not see all this stuff. It's just simple UI for you, right? So what will happen is that your your Ethereum that are present on the Polygon network, right? It will get burned on your 100 Ether. It will get burned on the Polygon network. It will get burned on the Polygon network. Okay. Why is this pen not working? Okay, so this is a terrible pen. I will have to change some setting, but yeah, bear with me. So your 100 Ether will get burned on the Ethereum network, and then this will actually submit a proof on the Ethereum chain that, hey, this 100 Ether has been burned, and then when this burn proof, okay, this burn proof will be submitted on the Ethereum network. Once this burn proof is submitted here, then your Ethereum that was locked in here, that will be unlocked. Okay, unlocked. So this proof is very important. Like whenever the transfer is happening, so this proof will be, will be very important to unlock this ether on the Ethereum chain itself. Okay, so this is the simple working of bridges. I know it's a little terrible drawing, but yeah, I will get better once I start using it on daily basis. I might do it, uh, in the future sections, or yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this is how simply, how bridges work. Now let's actually go back to CCTP and let's see what it does and how is that working. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about this Circles CCTP thing. Okay, USDC transfer protocol for Ethereum Avalanche, right? This is, I guess, just launched for transfer from Ethereum to Avalanche, like your USDC transfer from Ethereum to Avalanche. So let's talk about this Circles CCTP thing, USDC transfer. So it just explains all the working in just one line. That is this new protocol burns coins on the sending chain and mints the new ones on the receiving chain, right? And how this is actually, better than bridges. I don't know if it is better than not. It will have to prove its technology, but yeah, there is no actually locking of the smart contract, like locking of the tokens. Like we understand, right? If you want to transfer your assets from Ethereum to Polygon chain, you have to lock your token, your crypto on the Ethereum chain, and then you can get the same amount of token minted on the other chain. Okay, so this is how usually the bridges work. But here, you're not locking anything. You're not locking the USDC on the Ethereum chain, and then you are getting the same amount of USDC on the Avalanche chain. You are just burning it, right? It's just literally burning it and then issuing new amount of token on the receiving chain. So it's better in terms of security as well. We will also talk about what are the disadvantages and what are the dangerous thing about this new stuff. But yeah, just simply says it like previous large users who had used this Ethereum had to deposit their coin with Circle partner and use a third party bridge. So rather than now, this USDC is directly present, right? So now the users don't have to use any third party bridges to transfer their USDC from one network to another. There is like an inbuilt function of this new stablecoin. So yeah, this is, I guess, one of the good feature, a good thing that is happening in the crypto industry. If we are moving towards, not using third-party things for doing stuff. But yeah, so apparently they showed a video regarding new protocol. I mean, there is a link to this. I will provide this link to this. This blog as well. You can check this out. But yeah, before this blog, there was video tutorial that they launched that showed how you can actually transfer the token from Avalanche to Ethereum, right? So yeah, I mean, I was talking about this bridges things like so the users have lost billions of dollars like worth of USDC or any other cryptocurrencies as well in general over bridges hacks. So bridges are one of the most controversial or you know uh, hacking stuff happens on bridges, right? It is very tough, and it is one of the most important topic that the industry is trying to solve. Bridges like cross-chain interoperability, cross-chain transfer, right? There are several bridges that have claimed to be safe, but you don't know. Things can happen, things can change anytime. Crypto, like Farmhold was one of the bridge that is like the safest, most of the most famous bridge, but it also got hacked. I guess, it's a matter of time when the white hat hackers or hackers they find out the bugs or the other hackers they exploit it, right? So just a matter of time. And yeah, I mean users have lost millions of dollars worth in these attacks on bridges, and figuratively like how this. So why they have lost a lot of money? Why? Because usually in the bridges, your tokens are locked inside it, locked in a smart contract. And if that smart contract is being exploited in the bridge hack, then your tokens or users' tokens are lost. Right? This is what simple thing is. But in USDC, this thing, like in this stuff, there is no locking of the smart contract, right? So that's why this has left developers wondering how to secure. Like this has left developers wondering how to secure bridges for future assets. Digital assets becoming more streamed. So if you want, digital assets to become more streamed, we need to solve this problem. Nobody wants to lose their funds, right? So yeah, I mean, this is a good alternative, I guess, to traditional bridges. But yeah, it's good. But there are little bit of things that also we need to discuss. And also one more thing is to yet to keep in mind about this security in terms of security. Like it is also scan thing as well because it can also be get attacked. Like not like it is very secure and can't get attacked like bridges. Yeah, if it gets hacked, like if the USDC smart contract issuer and all this stuff get hacked, then the hacker can actually mint any amount of native USDC, right? And off ramping it would be tricky. But I mean, off ramping it would be tricky, but it depends on how the attack is carried out and what time frame and all that stuff. But yeah, it is also one of the same thing as well. And also need to consider the configuration of CCTP plus bridge itself. Okay, you have to consider all the configurations of the stuff, and also like they also like after this USDC cross-chain transfer protocol, they Circle moved one more step, and they integrated with wormhole bridge to actually do the cross-chain transfer of assets, right? So let's actually talk about that as well. Okay. So there was actually one of the video that was out there where it shows like, so I wanted to show you this demo that actually was on the Circle's YouTube channel, right? It was with the CCTP actually integrates with Wormhole to do transfer of the tokens, like cross-chain transfer of the tokens. So in this demo, it shows like how you can transfer your Ethereum from Ethereum blockchain to Avalanche blockchain, right? And this is using the CCTP protocol by Circle, right? So I am not going to play this video fully. This is a 5-minute video. I will provide link to this, but you can check this out. To check out the demo, it is good. Let's actually talk about the working of this as well. Okay, so let's discuss how Circle CCTP is integrated with WAMO. If you don't know, WAMO is a cross-chain bridge, cross-chain transfer bridge. So let's talk about how this works. Okay. So for example, here we will be swapping a native token from Ethereum to native token of Avalanche. So ETH is the native token on the Ethereum blockchain, right? And then you want to transfer it. You basically want to swap it to AVAX. AVAX is the native token on the Avalanche chain. Okay. So this is the thing. So if you were to swap your Ethereum in Ether, the native token on Ethereum to the native token of Avalanche, you will get a derivative thing or basically a wrapped AVAX, right? Traditionally, right? I don't know if there are any other method, but yeah, that's how traditionally you get an wrapped version of AVAX on Avalanche network, right? But what will happen with this Circle's CCTP is that let's remove this. Okay, so as a user, there is nothing much for you. Like for example, you have Ethereum, you have ETH on Ethereum blockchain, okay, and you want the native token of Avalanche blockchain, that is AVAX, okay, on Avalanche blockchain. So you just have to just provide Ethereum to the platform, like whatever the CCTP this layer cake platform is. You just have to go and provide Ethereum to them, and it will issue. You will get AVAX on the Avalanche network. Okay, so that's on the user side of the things. But how underlying is this work? So what this will do is simply what will happen is that there will be a swap for your Ethereum. Okay, so there will be a swap for Ethereum and it will turn into USDC. USDC. Okay, so it will turn into USDC, and then what will happen in that, it will use the circle's CCTP one. Let me just remove it. Okay, so it will what will do is, let me create a big line. Okay, so what it will do is, it will use Circle's CCTP transfer protocol that we just discussed. So what it directly does is that it will burn this USDC, and then it will mint the same amount of USDC. Whatever the price of the USDC that was here, it will get minted here. Okay, so the same amount of USDC is minted. So this is what the CCTP working is like. This stuff, like this USDC and USDC minting. This is how like CCTP usually work. But there is one extra step. There is wormhole bridge in between. Like there is wormhole. There is wormhole here. Okay. So there is one more step here using wormhole. What it will do is, it will directly just swap your USDC that was minted here on the Avalanche network, and it will directly swap it to SRP as Avalanche. So here, now you're getting actually not any wrapped version of Avalanche, not any wrapped version of AVX of Avalanche. You're just directly getting the original native token of the Avalanche network. So, right? So this is how the CCTP actually works. So yeah, this is all about CCTP plus wormhole. I hope you are enjoying this crash course. If yes, just post this screenshot on Twitter and LinkedIn, and let me know if you like it in the comment section. Just like if you like this. I know the handwriting is terrible because I recently, just today only, bought this pen and my tablet just to teach more of you guys. And yeah, okay, so now let's move on to our next topic. So I guess we have covered almost everything under the Fiat Collateralized stablecoin, that is USDT, USDC, and we have talked about this amazing stuff of USDC, all these amazing features, new features. I'm trying to keep it as updated as possible. So yeah, I guess let's now move on to our another type of stablecoin. Okay. So actually, before moving on to our next topic, I wanted to discuss this USDT and band analysis that I found on Deal.com. It is a really good website to find stuff, right? You can visit the website and just a specific thing. So it shows the analysis of all the USDT and all the USDC band address, right? We remember we just went through the code of USDT and USDC, where there was a function called blacklisted function. So this is actually, you can see all the details of all the addresses, all the USDT that was actually banned, that was present in that, right? So right now the USDT banned address is R858, and on the other side it's 150, and on USDC, right? And you can actually check the total amount of USDC. So actually visit the website of Deal.com and let's just see like what the analysis looks like. There are, I guess, some amazing graphs that I found, and it was actually amazing. So let me just share that. Okay, yeah. So USDC, USDT, you can see the comparison, band cumulative total amount. So this total amount is around $460 million. And on the other side, USDC is it is about $8 million. Okay, still loading, but yes, you can see it over here. Okay, and there is USDT band address. It says that it is around 800. This is like that number 872. And then there is 150 around 163 and USDC. And you can see this cumulative stuff. And whenever they want like USDC or USDT owner can actually burn this smart contract, burn this tokens or burn this value, or they can remove it from the blacklisted stuff. Okay, let's move on to our next topic. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about next type of stablecoin, that is commodity collateralized stablecoin. This is like just for this we have just only one slide. So what are commodity collateralized stablecoins? These stablecoins are collateralized using physical assets. just simple. You can just read the definition, color back whether types of interchangeable assets or any types of physical assets, like for example, precocious metals, oils, real estate, anything. So the most popular commodity to be collateralized is definitely gold. Our currency, like our usual currency is dollar, was used to be, backed by gold. So yeah, this is one of the most popular commodity. So Tether gold, is and Paxos gold are two of the most liquid gold-backed stablecoins in the market. However, it is important to remember that these commodities can and more likely to fluctuate in price, therefore have potential to lose value. I mean, you all know that gold prices can definitely fluctuate, right? So this is also, you need to keep that in mind, okay? And holders of Tether gold can actually redeem their, Tether gold tokens, XR tokens, in exchange for physical gold if they complete the, commodities limited verification process. There is a Tether gold commodities limited verification process that when once you complete, and you have to hold a certain amount of XR token, it is around, I don't know, 430 XR tokens, right? And if you have that, and if you, verify with the commodity verification process, you can actually, redeem XR tokens in exchange for physical gold itself, right? So this is one of the things that you need to keep in mind, I guess, yeah. But the commodity collateralized, this is what the simple stuff is. This is what the current price that I found out on the internet. This is the market cap, and these both of these are backed by gold, right? So almost the same price. So yeah, this is also one of the another type of stable coins in the market. Okay, so this is all about it. There is nothing as such code in this, right, to talk about. But yeah, this is the signature right for commodity collateralized stable coins. Okay, so now let's move on to our another topic, that is crypto collateralized stable coin. Okay, this is like one of the most important topics and one of my favorite topics. Okay, so what is crypto collateralized? As simply the name suggests, cryptocurrencies backed stable coins are called as crypto collateralized. Stable coins are backed by another cryptocurrency as collateral, for example, any other cryptocurrency. So this cryptocurrency works similar to that of fiat-backed stable coins. However, it locks up cryptocurrency as collateral instead of using fiat currency. For example, Ethereum can be kept as collateral to create cryptocurrency-backed stable coins. For example, DAI. DAI is one of the famous stable coins in the market by Maker now. Definitely talk about it. It's one of the interesting topics. So then that they keep Ethereum as collateral. So it was, I guess, in the single collateral one. Now they have multi-collateral, so they can have any other cryptocurrency that has a collateral to issue DAI tokens. DAI token is a stable coin. So this process occurs on chain and employs smart contracts instead of relying on central issuer. Right? So this is why this is more decentralized as compared to fiat-based, because everything is happening on chain, right? And things are moving from off-chain world to on-chain world. So people and our stable coins should also move from off-chain world to the on-chain world. And right now, the other token is RAI, but right now we will talk only about this threshold. We will only talk about DAI, because DAI is actually one of the most famous stable coin to cover, and it will take a lot of time. So we are not going to cover RAI, but yeah, you should definitely go and explore RAI token as well. So this is, I guess, one of your homework. If you are watching this, if you are new to this space, just watch this crash course. Just after this, like we will explain DAI token, make it know how it works and how technical size of things, and then we would use your homework to find out how RAI works, how RAI is different than DAI token, and how that works. Just post it on Twitter and post it on LinkedIn. Tag me, and I might have a gift for you to share. Yes, I might give you something. Okay, or maybe a one-to-one session or whatever you want. Not whatever you want. You will ask for a Ferrari, dude. Okay. So this is kind of a homework for you. Just post it on Twitter and LinkedIn and tag me and tell that this is part of the homework that I gave to you. So yeah, just continue till we finish DAI token. Okay. Just be a okay. So let's talk about DAI token, how that works. So before moving on to the working of DAI token, there are two things. Like there is one thing that is important to this. Okay. So there are two types of types of collateralization. One is exogenous, the other was is endogenous. Okay. So if the stablecoin fails, to find out what type of collateralization it is, you just have to ask one question. If the stablecoins fails, does the underlying collateral also fails? Okay. So just this is a simple question that we have to ask every time to make sure what is exogenous and what is endogenous. Okay. So for example, ETH is a collector, as I said, that for to issuing DAI tokens, like to issuing DAI tokens, you can get Ethereum as a collateral, like as we were getting actual fiat currency as a collateral for fiat backed one, we can have Ethereum as a collateral over here, right? So if ETH has a collateral for DAI token, okay, if the DAI token fails, does ETH fails? No, right? I mean, Ethereum doesn't have to do anything with DAI tokens. Like this value doesn't have to do with DAI tokens, you right? So if that is not the thing, it is exogenous. Right? This ETH still has a smart contract. Uses it outside of DAI and will continue to thrive. No matter if DAI goes down, DAI goes up. Okay. Therefore, ETH collateral is exogenous, right? And the other one is endogenous. So very roughly, if the underlying collateral of the stablecoin fails, like for example USDT, the underlying collateral for UST was Luna. If we were to talk about it, how Luna fall and all that stuff in the future one, when you talk about algorithmic stablecoins, but yeah, for UST was stablecoin, so as of now even to understand, Luna is collateral, right? So if the collateral fails, right? If the collateral, the main stablecoin fails, does the collateral fails? Yes, it failed. So in order to mint UST, you needed to burn Luna and vice versa. They were designed together at the protocol levels, so very impact together, right? So it was a kind of endogenous collateral, right? So this is like a major difference, and I guess this is one of the things that you need to know if you want to understand stablecoins and the basics of stablecoins. Okay, not as if you're technical or non-technical. This is the part. Okay. So yeah, now let's talk about DAI token. As I said, let's actually talk about how DAI works. Okay, so DAI is one of the best known stablecoins in the most successful actually projects in the past few years, and one of the best known stablecoins in the market. Right. So it has two tokens. One is DAI, this DAI token, and the other one is Maker, MKR. So it's not the collateral, okay? Maker MKR is for the governance of the MakerDAO. So MakerDAO is actually the party or the organization, this DAO behind this stablecoin. There have to be some person, right? So this MakerDAO is the thing behind DAI stablecoin, okay? Which actually makes it unique as each DAI is backed by Ether instead of third party. So this is the meaning. Instead of any third party like USDT, Tether community, Tether organization or circle organization claiming that they have required collateral, which we definitely it's up to you they want to show it or not. Having a third party claiming it, we have natively, not natively, but we have Ether actually on chain showing that it is there, right? So yeah. And one more thing to remember is that DAI is not an algorithmic stablecoin. People are confusing, DAI with algorithmic stablecoin, but DAI is not algorithmic stablecoin. Just to be clear for you, and just here, right? There are a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of chows, but yeah, just make sure DAI is not an algorithmic stablecoin. Okay. I will also share one tweet by tag as well. Okay, so more than of the 2% of entire Ethereum, like entire ETH, is actually logged in the MakerDAO. Right? That's true. all of the total market cap of Ethereum or the total supply is actually logged in MakerDAO. Like 2% of it is logged in the MakerDAO. It is one of the most influential stable coin, stable thing, as it gives the idea of how an ideal stable coin should look like. It is one of the influential stable coin to say, but it also has its ill effects. Sometimes it gets depegged, right? So there is one thing. There is definitely bad side of everything. Okay. But yeah, it is one of the ideal stable coins, how ideal stable coins should look like. Now let's actually talk about its working. Okay. So now let's understand the DAI token, how it usually works. So one more thing is that now DAI token is multi-collateral. Before that, it was only accepting Ethereum as a collateral, but now it accepts a few other cryptocurrencies as a collateral. We will talk about that as well. There is one cash in that. Okay. So in the DAI token, like how this usually works is for the Ethereum one. So you have some kind of ETH, then only you will able to go to MakerDAO and get DAI token. Obviously, you can buy it from third party marketplaces, Binance, Coinbase, etc. But if you want to just directly get DAI token, issue DAI token from MakerDAO. So what you usually do is, and one credit to HackerNoon, I got this images from HackerNoon, so you can follow them. They have some amazing content, and I'll provide the link in the description. Okay. So step one is basically it's very simple. You have the user, you have some kind of Ethereum, some amount of Ethereum. You will just deposit or send this Ether to MakerDAO smart contract, creating a CDP. So CDP is an agreement just in which your collateral is logged in a smart contract to generate a stablecoin. So it's just an agreement, okay? Okay, so you open this CDP. Once you submit this, once you submit your Ethereum, the step two, second, what will happen is they say, for example, you deposited one Ether. So one Ether, suppose, for example, let's take this example, you have one Ether, and the dollar and the value of one Ethereum is $150 as of now. Okay, let's consider it. So what will happen is this will actually allow you to take up to 100 DAI because the collateral ratio is 150%. Okay, so this collateral ratio, if you calculate it, so it will be around 150 divided by 1.5, right? Since the collateral ratio is 150%, so will be allowed to actually take up 100 DAI or mint up to 100 DAI token, assuming you have 1 Ether, and it's the value of Ethereum is $150, right? Against your $150, you will get 100 USD, 100 worth of 100 DAI, which is 1 DAI is equals to 1 USD. So, yeah, okay. And this is basically, the collateralization is 150, as I said. Like, you have to keep in mind, this might change. And so hopefully, however, if the price right now, the price is $150, this is how the simple working of that. But however, if the price of Ether drops below $150, your CDP will be forcefully closed. Okay. And this is limit beyond the users. This is actually the limit beyond the user is liquidated. Okay. So for example, you have this one Ethereum is $150, right? And you just collateralization 150 is the maximum amount of limit. The maximum amount of limit is $100. But it is not like that you can only mint $100. You can actually mint $90. You can mint $50. You can mint $10. 10 like that token. Okay. But the maximum limit is $100. So if, for example, you have $100, like we have submitted, you have 1 Ether and $50, they submitted that as a collateral, you issued the maximum amount, it is $100 itself. Okay. But if the price of Ethereum goes below 150, then your CDP may be collateralized position could be forcefully closed, and it can get closed. Okay, so you lose your collateralization, that is your 1 ETH. Okay, and this way it always has some more collateral than actually the DAI borrowed or minted. So this is very helpful because you just don't have the same amount of Ethereum logged in the smart contract as the same amount of DAI issued. You actually have more collateral. So that's why it is a over collateralized stable coin as well. Okay. And if you want to stop this from happening, like you want this to happen, like if you don't want your CDP to get forcefully closed, what you can do is you can put more ether or actually take out less DAI in the first place, right? So we have 150 USD of one price of one ether. So what you can do is if the price of one ether goes below 150 USD and you've already taken the maximum amount, you will have to submit more Ethereum so that the collateralization ratio matches it, right? So if you want it, you have to put out more ether to the stable coin, the smart contract of the Mikado smart contract, or else you should take less amount of USDC, DAI. You should less amount of DAI in the first place itself. If you have the limit of like 100 DAI token, then you should, maybe mint 50, you should maybe mint 60 or 70 or whatever. It's up to you. Just to ensure there's always enough capital locked against the amount of money being taken out. So this is actually very good and actually very stable as well. And we also have some more examples as well in the future. But yeah, okay. So the step third, like this is the step too simple. Like you have to submit the ether, and then there's a collateral ratio. It depends if you depends on the maker and governance to find out this collateral ratio. Changes, I guess, and all the time. But yeah, this is how the second step is, and then the third step is if you want your ether back, you don't want your DAI token. If you want your ether back, you need to pay back the amount you took out with the addition of some minor fees. Yes. So if you are issuing, if you're getting some DAI token, you will have to pay some minor fee. Yeah. So all the DAI token that are supplying the car supplies in the market, somebody is actually paying the fees, a minor fee for it. Okay. So every year there's a 2% stability fee. This is like decided with the maker governance token. If you are worried about what is the use of maker MKR token, then yeah, it is a governance token, and you can choose what will be the stability fee of the what will be the stability fee of the governance of the maker DAO and DAO token, and then also how much the CDP ratio is that we talked about. You can vote on that kind of stuff. So if you have maker DAO, maker token, okay. So the contract will directly burn your DAI token and it will close your CDP and it will pay back all the ether that you have, like the current price of the ether, obviously. It will pay that much amount of ether, okay? So whosoever minted DAI anytime, they are getting charged as of now. And yeah, this is all about how the stable coin actually works, the DAI stable coin, right? This is the simple working of the stable coin. And simple close CDP, pays the stability fee, and you can get your Ethereum or any other collateral back. Okay. Now let's actually move on to the code walkthrough of DAI token. So now let's move on to understanding the DAI smart contract and the code of that. So for that, first of all, I tried reaching out to MakerDAO people because the code of MakerDAO governments and DAI token is a little complex. So, first of all, I tried to reaching out to them. Maybe someone is available to come and teach in this crash course, but I got no response. So I myself got into their docs, tried to understand how it actually works. It is a little bit of complex, but yeah, we will get through it. Okay. But still, right now you're still in this course, you are liking it, then please share it on LinkedIn and Twitter. And also do like this video. This will help the algorithm to, show it to the other people, and do comment as well. Thank you so much. And now let's actually let me share my screen. So I am on GitHub of MakerDAO, and under DSS I have opened DSS is DAI stablecoin system. So under that I am on DAI.sol contract. This DAI is a ERC20 token on Ethereum, and this is like the ERC20 token contract of DAI. This includes everything that has the ERC20 token has, like simple functions, transfer from mint, burn, and all that stuff as well. But there are it's actually connected to other smart contracts as well. So now let's directly go through the DAI, like MakerDAO website. They have some technical docs that are actually present in there. But before that, before moving that, I went to the website and I went to this, I found this PDF, which was actually an interesting one that explains a lot of technical stuff about DAI and, MakerDAO, how that actually works. So I will link that in the description. So if you are interested to learn about that, you can definitely visit it and you should visit it. Okay. So there was some comparison between and DAI. I already told you that Sai was actually single collateral DAI. So before that, right now, it's MakerDAO supports multi-collateral, which means that you can put different types of asset as collateral, right? But before this, before sometimes it was only accepting Ethereum as the only collateral, right? So as you can see, the differences here, single collateral type is backing by single collateral. Collateral was ETH, and here after it becomes multi-collateral. It can be backed by multiple collaterals, right? Different types of collateral that are obviously approved by the MakerDAO as well. Okay. And then there are definitely some advantages as well over multi-collateral DAI as well, right? So you can definitely check that out. I mean, there are some differences like before in single collateral DAI, Maker MKR token, Maker governance token was used to pay the stabilization fee. Yeah, if you remember, if we talked about the stabilization fee, and when multi-collateral DAI, we used DAI to pay the stability fee. Okay. So there are some few differences and then some terminologies that are not, important to us as well. There are a lot of things to read about it. If you go deep, there are endless possibilities, and this crash course could become like a, I don't know, 24 hours crash course. So it's a lot to discuss. But yeah, let's focus on the main points as well, right? So I have wrote down some main points that. So this diagram is actually a good example of how the DAI stablecoins totally works, like how it coordinates with several smart contract and other stuff. So these all are like, most of them are smart contracts, like WET. We will talk about that. We will talk about several other stuff as well, but we're not going to talk about everything because it becomes very hard to talk about everything, right? So this is like a good example. There are different modules as well that we are going to talk about, and there is something called emergency shutdown module as well, like you can see here the end one. So this is like the emergency shutdown module, the shutdown stuff that we will talk about. That is one of the interesting thing that I got to know. Now let's actually move on to the documentation again of MakerDAO. Okay, just a second. Okay, so this is the actual, so this is actually the DAI.sol token that we were actually looking on our GitHub. So this is just an introductory to that. Like, it is an ERC20 token contract, maintaining the account for external DAI balances and other stuff, right? And then this is the architecture as well. This isn't the whole architecture, but this is just interaction with the DAI one, if you're able to see it. Interaction of the DAI with the WET. Now, what is WET? Just a second, we're going to talk about it in a bit. Okay, this is like the contract details. If you are interested, you should visit the documentation as well, right? These are just key mechanics and simple concepts that you can go and talk about. This includes some differences. What are some differences from a simple ERC20 token? Like, transfer from and DAI contract works in slightly different form than generic transfer from function. It allows for unlimited approval rather than limited approval, right? So there are some differences that you can check out, like push, pull, and move are analysis for transfer from calls in the form of transfer form. Yeah, I mean, there is like a little difference that you can check out, but yeah, most of them is the same, right? So now let's talk about WET, right? This that you are seeing, this WET. I mean, this is a very, very important stuff that we should talk about. Okay. So why WET? So this is the core modules, right? So let me just tell you one thing, that there are, if you see the documentation of MakerDAO, there are different modules as well, like core modules, collateral module, right? And Oracle module. There are different types of Oracle under the DSS, right? So you can check that out. That was also in the diagram that we were talking about, right? You can see here the different types of modules. Like this module is different, system stabilizer, right? There is one dot Oracle module, so there must be a Oracle module is over here, right? And then there is a shutdown one, emergency shutdown module as well. So there are different modules that combine all together, right? Now let's talk about this WET. What is this main thing called WET? So WET is actually, the single source of truth for the maker protocol, as it says here. Like WET in general is defined as a large tank or a tub to hold liquid, right? You can see here it's very usual, very common. We will see it out there. So this is called actually WET. So WET actually holds all the fundamental primitives of the MakerDAO protocol. So it's just like a source to put everything inside it. Like it contains the accounting system of the core vault, like internal DAI balances, what is the collateral state, everything is in the WET, right? And this WET, there are different functions as well of WET as well. Like vaults. It also contains some public interfaces, allowing vault owners to transfer, split, and merge the different vaults. Okay. So now there are some fundamental primitives of the Maker protocol. The WET holds these fundamental primitives. These are like database, and then there is accounting system that we talked about, vault management, vault fungibility, right? These are some things that we talk about, and this is what WET is for. Now let's also go to the documentation as well and see what that has to say about WET as well. So there is a detailed documentation about WET in the MakerDAO documentation page. So WET is like the core vault engine of DSS. DSS is DAI stablecoin system. So WET is actually the core vault engine of the DSS, right? It stores vaults and it tracks all the associated DAI and collateral balances. So all the associated DAI that we talked about, that you have to put some collateral, some crypto collateral, to mint the DAI token. So all the tracks are in this WET contract. Okay. It also defines the rules by which vaults can be manipulated. So it acts as a constitution of the DSS, right? So this WET is actually constitution of the DAI stable coin system. And also one more thing is that it is immutable, which means that it can't be changed, right? That's why it is viewed as a constitution of the DSS, right? And there are some glossaries, some terms that if you want to talk about gem and all that stuff, you can also even visit the WET smart contract as well. I hope so. I would order. Yeah, this is the wet.sol smart contract that you can visit if you want to check stuff. So what's is something that only can call the authorized functions, right? So these are some whats, and there's some other glossaries as well. If you want, you can go through this, and then if you are unable to understand anything, and this is smart contract, this includes math and this administration function that we were talking about. So only the whats can call these functions as well, right? And then there are some other functions as well that you can check out. And yeah, if you are unable to find anything, like if you are unable to understand anything, one tip that I can give it to you is that just go to this MakerDAO glossaries that is at the end, and here are different several terms that you can understand. If we go through in this video, it will take a lot of time. So just go through here, just do Control F, and then you can search whatever you want. If you want to search WET, and then this will give you thousands of words, so you can actually understand what that stuff is. Okay, so yeah, so WET is just like large tank to hold everything, and it acts as a constitution as well, and a single source of truth for the Maker protocol. Okay, so we have covered this, and now let's actually talk about cat. So okay, so after WET, there is one more component that is cat. So cat is vaults that are too risky, right? So let's read this paragraph. The generator of the vault owner and borrower, while the smart contract system is generated to increase the borrower's confidence in the minted value. Uh, if the value of the underlying asset dips below the required amount, the collateralization ratio decreases. To increase this ratio, right, we already had an example, we talked about this, right? So to increase this ratio, prevent insolvency of the system, The generator takes via the CAT the collateral and sells it for DAI in an auction. So Act is adding CAT. This CAT contract is acting as a medium, or what to say, an interface, something, right? To sell, so that the collateral can be sold out, right? So if the system, like the generator, takes the collateral via the CAT smart contract, so this is the importance of the CAT smart contract, right? And then it sells it for DAI in an auction, right? So this is what simple the CAT is. Let me see if that is also present on the MakerDAO documentation under any module. No, I don't see it. But yeah, that's the simple one. If you still want to learn more about Cat.Soul, if you want to visit the smart contract, then it must be here somewhere. Yeah, this is Cat.Soul. If you want, you can check that out. So, there are some different stuff, crazy namings. They're like crazy namings of the things, so you can check out that. And if you're unable to find anything and to understand anything, one good thing is to go to the glossary and search here. It is definitely gonna help you. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to talk about is spotter, right? So what is a spotter? In simple, like in real life, spotter is someone who spot someone's and means to physically help them in safely competing skills. So spotter is this guy who's helping this sportsman person to in terms of safety, right? So this is what a spotter is. And in here also, this the maker protocol requires real-time information about the market price of the asset used as collateral and wallets, right? Ultimately, this market price determines the amount of DAI that can be minted, right? So you need some kind of price as well, like the smart contracts need to know. If you haven't watched my EVM crash course, go and watch that. It actually talks about how contracts cannot access the previous state or an external API or anything, right? So that's why we need oracles to get the price on chain, right? So yeah, there are oracle modules that handles how market prices are recorded on the blockchain, definitely. And then spotter is simply an interface contract where external actors pull the current market price from the Oracle module for a specified collateral type, so it reads the market price from the spotter. Okay, that's a very simple thing. Let's go there and let me just show you what is written here. So it's like between a liaison between the Oracle and the core contract. So there must be some Oracle stuff as well. So this is the spot that basically act as a liaison between the oracles and the core contracts. It functions as an interface contract and only stores the current ILK list. ILK is the collateral, basically. It's nothing, just collateral. Okay. So it acts as basically as an interface or liaison between the Oracle and the core smart contract. Let's also go to the architecture. Here, see where is a spot. Okay, so this is spot that is basically help acting as providing. Yeah, so this is the Oracle module. Here you can see that this is green ones are the Oracle module. And this is basically acting as a license between the wet, our tub that holds everything, and the Oracle modules. Okay, cool. Now let's move on to our next thing, that is emergency shutdown. Okay, so there are a lot of other stuff as well that you can check out. I mean, this PDF contains a lot of good stuff. If you want to definitely technically go into a lot of details, I mean, it's up to you. If you have free time, you should go into it. But yeah, so there are a lot of good stuff in this module. It basically explains everything about the MakerDAO working and different types of stuff. Like, wow, what is that? You must be finding this inside the vault.soul, I guess. There must be a lot of different stuff that you can talk about. But yeah, I really want to talk about the emergency shutdown. But before that, let's me go to the. So here, as I told you, that there are different types of modules as well, like Oracle module, proxy module, peg stability module. So you will find all those module in this PDFs. Like you can, if you want to understand what is Oracle module, you can check out here. And there are different components as well, like medianizer, OSM, Oracle security module, right? So you can check out all that stuff like Maker, MKR module, right? So this is like the governance one. If you are interested in the governance side of the things, you can check out that. And then, yeah, now let's actually talk about the emergency one that I wanted to talk about. This is the jug and the pot one. These are, I guess, the rates module. Yeah, this rates module is responsible for collecting the stability fee, right? We will talk about when we talk about the architecture. Okay. Now, this is the proxy module. If you still don't know what is proxy, then go and check it out on YouTube. This is proxy module. I guess there must be some proxy contracts so that in future, if there is an upgrade, so these proxy contracts can help in doing that. And then there is emergency shutdown. Okay, that's what I wanted to talk about. So emergency shutdown is the last resort to protect the system against a serious threat. So suppose, for example, there is a hack or there is something that is maybe a governance attack or security breach or something, then there is this emergency shutdown button, maybe just a danger button that you can use, right? So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. There are different components inside that, right? And there is some ESM calls as well function which you can talk, which freezes the protocol and locks all the spot prices, like collateral USD prices for each ILK. ILK is nothing but any collateral type, right? So you can, so when you call that function, it freezes the protocol and locks all the prices of that. And then after that, like there is one thing of and the component in the emergency shutdown, there is ESM that we talked about, the emergency shutdown module, which you can find in the diagram as well. The ESM, this is the emergency shutdown module, which can be acted as in the case of emergency, right? And the malicious governance and the attack facilitated by a critical work. So maker holders lock their MKR in this emergency, shutdown module, and then are immediately burned. And when the ESM's internal sum balance is equal or greater than the minimum threshold, then the end.cage function can be called. Okay. And there must be this end.esm contract. If you want to check out, let's hop over there as well. Okay, so this is like the ESM. It's a different repo for that. Okay, so this is emergency shutdown module contract with the ability to end.cage, that is trigger an emergency shutdown, that you can check out. There must be the smart contracts in there. Okay, yeah, so this is the ESM.whole. You can check out this is smart contract as well. This looks like it's interesting. So if it is something that is interesting to you, do check it out. So there is like join function. Join is actually for the responsible. Actually, it is a rate module that we are going to talk about, and responsible for collecting stability fees. So it is there as well. And yeah, I mean, there are different functions, lot to cover. I even don't know what half of the function does. So if you are really interested into understanding the smart contract, the actual working of this, then you should definitely, visit. Also join the Discord server of these guys, and they hold some, meetings. I guess I joined one of them, so you can ask your live questions over there. Now let's move on to the overall diagram that we were talking about. So this is the WAT that we have already discussed. This is the emergency shutdown modules in case of any emergency. Now this is the CDP manager. So CDP manager, we talked about that. It actually, it is the governance kind of the things, and it manages all the CDP collateralized debt position that opens that we have already talked about. What are CDPs? And this Jug pot actually is responsible for collecting the stability fees. These are rates modules. And then this is more of like the governance module stuff, right? And then the spot that we have already talked about, it act as a interface or between wall as an oracle to the vet, so that the vet can get the prices of the oracle, like the real life prices, so that it can actually check out how much amount of DAI can be minted instead of the collateral that you have that has been submitted to the MakerDAO's smart contract. Okay. Yeah, so I guess this is all about it. Just an overview. I'm not going deep because it's a lot to cover on. Even it took me a while to understand this stuff and to understand this architecture, what are this different stuff or what is happening. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get a technical deep dive, then do tag me on Twitter and tag the MakerDAO Twitter account and tell them to come onto my YouTube channel, and then we can have a talk, and they can help us understand this smart contract. And this also you will not find it on YouTube as well. This is like the first video someone has created that is actually talking about the architecture of MakerDAO. Even on the MakerDAO's YouTube, nobody has talked about this stuff. They always obviously have PPTs and good documentation, but nobody has created a video around this. I guess this is the first video that you are going to get on. Okay, and these arrows also means something like government calls are represented by governance calls are represented by the red arrows, the public calls that public calls, and the authorization calls as well, that is represented by the black arrows. So I will actually provide the link to all this stuff in the YouTube description. So if you want to understand this, do visit it. Okay. And there is now one interesting case that I want to talk about. So let's actually move on to our presentation back. Okay, I have a good diagram that I want to talk about. There is a unique case regarding the multi-collateral DAI. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay, so I wanted to talk regarding this wrapped Bitcoin case, right? So there is one important case with the introduction of multi-collateral DAI, that you could actually use any ERC token to collateralize your CDP. I also have a diagram for that I have created. So let me also just show that diagram to you guys. That will help you to understand what I am trying to say. My drawing skills are a little bit bad, so please bear it with me. But I hope you're able to understand the diagram. I will tell you what this diagram is all about. Okay. One important case that I wanted to discuss was after the introduction of multi-collateral DAI, you could actually use any approved tokens to collateralize your CDP, right? Collateralize your position. And on May 2020, the MakerDAO government actually announced that they are going to accept wrapped Bitcoin as a collateral. Okay. So, and there is what is wrong with this? Like this, just simply as using any other token as collateral. But there is something that I wanted to talk about. So, using wrapped Bitcoin. So, suppose there is an individual or whoever it is, you have wrapped Bitcoin. You use that as a collateral. So you opens a CDP. Whatever the collateralization ratio is, you give your smart contract, you give your wrapped Bitcoin as a collateral into the MakerDAO smart contract, and then you can mint DAI based on the collateralization or whatever it is. But this could actually result in under collateralized CDP issues if the issuers are forced to freeze the assets that are present in the MakerDAO smart contract. So, for example, the SEC. So maybe tomorrow the SEC, there is something wrong. Maybe they want to, they will tell maybe the Bitco, the issuer of the wrapped Bitcoin, to maybe freeze the assets that are present in the MakerDAO smart contract, like the wrapped Bitcoin, right? So in this case, Bitcoin, the Bitco, the organization, the issuer behind the wrapped Bitcoin, will be forced to actually freeze those assets and blacklist all the wrapped Bitcoin, blacklist this MakerDAO address, right? So what this will result is that once this Bitco they blacklist the wrapped Bitcoin from the MakerDAO address. What this means is that all this wrapped Bitcoin that are actually present in the MakerDAO address that is backing the CDP will be worthless, right? So that is actually a big problem, right? So in the Ethereum case, this doesn't happen. But what if this is blacklisted and this wrapped Bitcoin that you are using to collateralize your CDP after the government, or maybe this is a case, a usual case, maybe there are less chances to it, but it can happen, right? So once the wrapped Bitcoin is blacklisted from the MakerDAO address, all these wrapped Bitcoin that are backing the CDP will become worthless. So this will create chaos, and this is one of the problem that is faced by Bitcoin. So we actually need some kind of new technology that we can use to use these non-smart contract tokens in a decentralized way, in a secure way, in our Web3 world, in to provide decentralization, such thing like the non-smart contract token like Bitcoin, like XRP. You need a decentralized way and secure way to to use these kind of tokens in the DeFi protocol, in the DeFi system, to provide more decentralization and security, right? So yeah, I mean, this is one of the case that I wanted to talk about. Now, I guess let's move on to our next topic. That is the next topic that is, I guess, yeah, algorithmic stablecoin and non-collateralization stablecoins, and what happened with that. And but before moving ahead, if you are liking this video, if you are, if this crash course is helping you, then please, subscribe to the channel and share it on LinkedIn and Twitter. I will be really happy. And please like the video and comment in the comment section. If you have any doubt as well, just comment in the comment section. And yeah, now let's move on to our next topic. So now let's talk about our last category, that is algorithmic stablecoin, or also known as non-collateralized stablecoin. I mean, there is a little different, but yeah, we'll focus more on the algorithmic stablecoin part. So algorithmic stablecoins do not use any fiat or cryptocurrency as a collateral. That's why they are also called non-collateralized crypto, stable coins. So instead, their price stability results from the use of specialized algorithms and smart contracts that manages the supply of tokens in the circulation. So an algorithmic stable coin system will actually, how it will work is that it will reduce the number of tokens in circulation when the market price falls below the price of the fiat currency it actually tracks, right? Maybe US dollar, maybe euros. And alternatively, if the price of the token exceeds the price of the fiat currency, it tracks the new token enter into circulation to adjust the stable coin's value downward. Okay, so you'll understand more about it when we take a particular stable coin. So every stable coin, algorithmic stable coin, works on their own, their own tech. They have their separate tech. So we are going to discuss some stable coins tech as well. So one of the famous stable coin that fall apart, that one was Terra Luna. So we will discuss how Terra Luna fall apart, how actually Terra Luna worked, and then what wrong happened with Terra Luna, why it fall like 98% in a single day, in a single night, right? And then there was also Titan. We're not going to talk about Titan, but yeah, if you want, you can definitely go and look into it. I just wanted to tell you guys there was also there are different types of algorithmic stable coins. So there has been a history with algorithmic stable coins. I mean, they, as of now, they have never worked. I mean, yeah, I mean, as compared to other stable coins, algorithmic stable coins is still yet to prove their power and their potential, right? So as of now, like, they have never worked, but yeah, let's see. I mean, there is a future. We've also look into some statements from Vitalik, CZ. I have gathered some of the statements from them. So yeah, let's see what happens. But now, for this particular crash course, we will go through Terra Luna, what Terra Luna is, how it was actually working, and then why it crashed and by 98% in a single night, right? So let's go and understand what is Terra Luna and how that worked. Okay. So Terra Luna, what was, first of all, Terra Luna? So Terra was actually a blockchain itself, right? So in the other stable coins, they were mostly on an ERC20 token on Ethereum, or they were not a blockchains, right? So this whole ecosystem, like the whole stablecoin ecosystem, actually had a whole blockchain. So Terra was a layer 1 blockchain, right? And it has in the Terra ecosystem, there were two tokens. One was UST, that was the stable coin that was, a dollar one that was equals to $1 that was pegged with $1, and the other one was Luna, right? So what these two coins were. So Luna was the native token, native token in the sense just like we have ETH for Ethereum, right? That is Luna for Terra, right? So Luna was actually the native token and UST was the stable coin. Okay. So Luna used to maintain the stable value of the Terra, right? It was actually the one that used to maintain the stable value of the Terra, that is, the UST. So when the value of the UST, the value of UST is mismatched or say depegged than a dollar, right? Then maybe UST, obviously, it was, it should be supposed to equal to a dollar. So if there is a case then UST is mismatched or then say depegged with not equals to a dollar, then Luna actually used to incentivize people by burning or by creating more of it. Okay, here you can see the example. We will let's go to another slide and understand how they used to incentivize the people and how this whole ecosystem was used to work, right? So let's see how this whole Luna and USD thing used to work. And this was all all the system was just simply based on supply and demand. So if the price of USD, the stable coin, is more than a dollar, suppose it just should be $1, but it goes more than $1, then so what do we usually use? Like basically, if there is something that is higher of price, we make more out of the things, and the price goes down, right? So simply if the value of UST is more than a dollar, then you just mint more Luna, and burn the UST, and this will make profit for the Luna holders, and eventually the price will, get back to $1. And again, if the case is opposite, like the UST is less than a dollar, then burn the Luna and mint more UST. So making profit either both ways, like so every way the the ecosystem is promising to the people to make profit who participate in this ecosystem and helped maintaining the proper balance equilibrium of Luna and UST, right? So this is simple working of UST, how it used to work. Then you see it was not properly backed by something, it was just a Luna token out there, and it was not backed by Luna. So it was just like Luna was helping to incentivize people, but UST was not backed by Luna. Okay, so now what happened? It was all going good, but something happened. Like what happened? Whether there was an attack or it was not an attack, but let's see, right? What happened? What actually, how it actually started? Okay, so there are a few things to keep in mind. uh First of all, there was the founder of the Luna and Terra Luna was Duquan, and he was also they also founded like Terra also founded an LFG, not our LFG, that is let's fucking go Feb 1. No, Luna Foundation Group. So they had LFG that used to help to incentivize people and used to take care of the Terra ecosystem. And Duke Wan was a computer science graduate from Stanford. Okay, uh, and then there was one platform. The other thing was that there was one platform named Anchor. Right, it was actually giving 20% APY. And news was that the LFG, the Luna Foundation Group, was actually paying people for paying this 20% AP5 from their marketing fund. And yeah, that's why there was also news that most of the money, most of the UST was actually in this protocol, and people were actually minting UST or buying UST just to go through this Anchor protocol and just get this 20% APY return, right? So most of the money was there, and it was maybe, no, maybe or maybe not, it was a marketing tactic by Luna, Terra guys, to get more of UST out there. Okay, and this 20% APY is a big caution, and even if you are someone who is into DeFi or banking ecosystem, suppose you're getting what, a 5% interest per year in your bank, and then if the other bank is maybe giving 6%, then it's legitimate. Like maybe they're doing the competition. But if it's 20%, it's like 10 more percent, right? Then it's a lot, right? So you should always take care of things and do your own research. In crypto we always say DYOR, that is do your own research and see what is happening behind under the protocol, right? It is legitimate or not, because nobody's going to give you free money, right? So yeah, just make sure that you are doing your own research. Okay, yeah, so moving on. So they also did one more thing, like so Luna Foundation Group actually bought $3.5 billion of Bitcoin as a backup back to USD. Maybe they're aware of this one thing called the spiral loop, right? The death spiral, basically. We'll talk about in the next slide, right? So what is it? So they were aware of it, and this was one of the well-known things that people were also aware of. They were also aware of that this can happen. So they, actually bought 3.5 billion worth of Bitcoin as a backup. So if in case anything happened, right? So we had Bitcoin, and that's why when the Luna fall, they sell their Bitcoin at a lower price, and that's why the price of whole Bitcoin was affected, and eventually the whole crypto ecosystem, all the tokens were affected. The market was down. Okay. And Do Kwon, like he was recently, I guess today only I read the news that he might get 40 years jail, and he was illegally claimed for securities fraud, commodities fraud, and wire fraud and conspiracy, right? And yeah, I mean, he was computer science graduate from Stanford. So, just one thing to always remember is that education and intelligence has nothing to do with honesty and being a nice human being. I've seen several selfish folks who did worst of the things. I mean, just to make money, they do worst things, and we call them as educated morons. I mean, I call them as educated morons. So never ever mix someone with intelligent and good education to being a nice person or a good person, right? So yeah, let's move on to our cryptocurrency course. Okay. So a lot of people say that this was actually a attack. I mean, someone initiated this death spiral. Now, what is this death spiral? So as we've talked about how this Luna and USD used to work, I mean, if the USD goes down, you just mint more Luna, and then if the other thing all around happens, like if the USD goes up, the other thing happens, right? We've talked about it. So suppose, for example, if the USD price goes down, then the Luna supplies goes up, right? So if the USD price is going down, then there will be definitely more Luna will be supplied, or more Luna will be minted, right? And if the Luna supplies goes up, the price of Luna goes down. Like simple things, right? If something is printed more, if there is more of something, then the price of that thing is gonna go down, right? So this is basically a problem, right? So if the USD price is going down, there will be more Luna printed, there will be more Luna minted. If the USD price goes down, more Luna printed, and then Luna is eventually gonna lose its value, right? So this is a death spiral that is initiated, right? So what the attacker has to do is that they have to keep the price of USD less than $1, right? Now the problem is that if the USD stays down, the more Luna is gonna print, right? More Luna is gonna mint it. And the Luna goes down and down and down until it becomes worthless. So the attacker whoever was the attacker, they had to do only one thing, is that they had to keep the value of USD less than $1, right? So if they do it, then there will be more Luna printed and printed, like until and unless the price of the USD doesn't go doesn't go as much as $1, like the more Luna will be printed, and the more Luna will be printed, the price of Luna is gonna go down, right? So that's the problem. So what they just had to do was they have to just make sure that the price of UST is down, and then eventually the Luna is gonna get more and more minted, and the Luna price is gonna go down and down and down until it crashes, right? That's why the Luna crashed so hard, right? That's why it crashed so hard. We will see the graph, right? So that's why. And one thing that the LFG community, that Do Kwon they tried selling Bitcoin, all the Bitcoin that they have, like 3.5 billion of Bitcoin. They had as a backup. They sold those Bitcoin, but still they couldn't get it back up. They couldn't get it back up the USD to $1, right? That was a problem, and then eventually they had to sell Bitcoin for loss, and then that's why they just uh, they put all the Bitcoin, and then it actually crashed inside the market, right? So that's why the whole market was actually affected due to the crash of Luna, right? Luna and UST, right? So this was one of the things that happened, and this is actually how this thing happened, like how the Terra and Luna fall, right? So now let's move on to one few things that happened after the fall, right? So I mean, what actually also happened, like a lot of people lost their life savings because Terra Luna cryptocurrency collapsed like 98% overnight, right? And then there was also a news that one people did suicide, and not only a single people, there was also news that multiple people suicided before after this event. Why? Because a lot of people was involved in this 20% APY. I mean, just this playing marketing tactics. People invested with their trust that they will get 20% APY. So a lot of people actually invested in it, and then eventually in overnight it fell by 98%, and a lot of people, you know, lost all their money, all their life savings, and eventually they had no option to commit suicide, right? So, it was a terrible incident, and it actually shook up the whole crypto market, the whole Web3 market. So, yeah, I mean, that was a terrible thing, and algorithmic stablecoin is yet to prove themselves. But you can also actually, go through the other algorithmic stable coins. We're definitely gonna talk about more of them. I will show you a blog that you can go through. And there are definitely algorithmic stable coins. There will be new tech. There will be something new that can actually, that will be actually good, and we would be able to use algorithmic stable coins properly. But yeah, now let's move on to our next thing, that is so I got this after this incident. I got this few tweets screenshot and this news screenshot from famous people. So Vitalik actually said it on Twitter as well, like agree hard on this. Like there was someone called Cesar, he's ETH Maxi. You can check his crypto, one of the best guy I've ever, I'm following. So agree hard on this. So this one is the quote that algorithmic stable coins has become a propaganda term serving to legitimize uncollateralized stables by putting them in the same bucket as collateralized stables. Like, so what he's trying to say is that algo stable coins that are uncollateralized are someone people are trying to even say, like, people used to say that DAI is also a kind of a algorithmic stable coin, but no, DAI is not algorithmic stable coin, right? So people are trying to put DAI, RAI, and other coins that are actually legitimate and that are actually collateralized with algorithmic stable coin, and we need to emphasize that these two things are definitely very, very different. Okay, yeah, this I have already told you guys this, but yeah, cool. Now let's move on to the next thing. Is that yeah, after this I also found out one of the the big thing from CZ, like not all algorithmic stable coins will be Terra. Like as he said, he's really optimistic about algorithmic stablecoins. Algorithmic stablecoins are higher risk definitely than asset-backed stablecoins, yes, but that doesn't mean they will never work. So CZ is actually optimistic about algorithmic stablecoins, and let's see what I will provide you the link to this doc so you can actually have a look into what he is trying to say and what is the future. I just don't want to go, one-sided and tell you the only a single story that hey, algorithmic never a stablecoin never works. But yeah, no, have people are optimistic about it, and this might work in the future. Okay. So I guess this was all for our four types of stable coins. Now, actually, I forgot that we have to also look into the code of Terra Luna. I couldn't find much, but I was successfully able to go through their Git repository and found something that might be useful to you. I don't know. Let's see. Uh, Okay, I don't know if you are okay. I hope you're able to see it. Okay. So I went to their GitHub documentation like Terra Money GitHub, so you can also go through that. As I said that Terra was actually a layer one blockchain, so you can see the whole code of the blockchain that was written. Like mostly it is in Golang as well. Like our Geth, like Ethereum's Geth is also in Golang, and then Polygon's POS chain was also a fork of Geth, so it is also Golang. Most of the blockchains are in Golang. Yeah. So you can see was the full node software implementation of Terra blockchain. I am not, and their smart contracts were also in Rust. So I'm not a big Rust fan. I don't know much Rust, so I couldn't figure out much of these things. But yeah, if you are a Rust fan, you can definitely check out their code, and you can go through their smart contracts as well. There was a smart contracts links as well. I will provide it in the description. One thing that I found interesting was Terra Rebels. I don't know, there was something called Terra Rebels, and they have this post-mortem of UST and attack. They have all the timeline of what actually happened, right? So following post-mortem outlines the key events leading to the depegging of the UST, right? So you can check that, and there was actually date what happened. A Twitter account named Freddie Reynolds outlined a way to attack the existing models of the UST with capital of 1 billion, right? You can see the reference links as well. So it talks more about what we have talked, but we just talked about overview of what happened. But this timeline is actually good, right? They talked about how the all the things happened, how the attack was made place. So this could actually become a good movie. So if someone is trying to create good content, they can actually follow these timelines and create a good content or good movie. Okay. Yeah. So there was some lesson learned. Don't do fractional reserve banking with 100% debt to asset ratio and unlimited supply cap. Definitely. If you don't know where the yield is coming from, it's probably you, right? So, as we used to say in Web 2, like if you don't know, if you're getting something for free, then probably you are the product. And in Web 3, if you don't know where the yield is coming from, then it's probably you. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there are things that you need to take care of. So yeah, I guess that's all of about the Terra Luna case. Now let's move on to our next topic. That is, yeah, there was one thing as stablecoin trilemma as well. Like, I don't know. I mean, whether it is true or not, but a lot of people say that it's true, just like blockchain trilemma, decentralized scalability and what was the other thing? Decentralized scalability and security, right? This like we have stable coin trilemma, peg stability, capital efficiency, and decentralization. You can only choose two of them. So if you are if peg stable, then and it's decentralized, then there is a problem with capital efficiency. And then if you're decentralized and capital efficiency, the problem with the peg stability, algorithmic one. And then if you are centralized, like then peg stability, and you're missing decentralization, and then over collateralization, you are missing capital efficiency. So I'm looking forward to if there is any stable coin that has actually solved this stable coin trilemma. If there is, And if you know any, just let me know in the comment section. If you found any, post it on Twitter and LinkedIn and do tag me. Okay, cool. Now let's move on to some bonus stuff. Okay, so I guess most of our course is completed now. I guess we have talked about all those 4 types of stable coins, and under the stable coin we have talked about a single stable coin, how that actually work. We have gone through the code as well, a little bit code as well. So yeah, this is no more of bonus stuff, like what I see is the future, and and what are some things that are going on right now in the market as I'm creating this video, right? So yeah. So now all the, as we move ahead, like, so the DeFi protocols are actually in the process of all the DeFi, mostly all the DeFi holder protocols are process of developing their own native stable coins to attract users and increase the activity at a time, when the crypto trading and lending is flagging, right? So the Curve Finance actually announced their own stable coin, right? They have announced their own stable coin called as Curve USD, right? And Curve Finance Algo stable coin sees, like, I guess $22 million minted since it was launched, and it was like launched like recently only, like on May 4th, as you can see the date here. And definitely, DeFi protocols are now looking into creating their own native stable coins to attract the users. I found this Twitter thread that was actually amazing and explained the Terra, like the Curve USD, very well. So yeah, well, which was, I don't know who this guy is, Marcus Ledger. Maybe you should follow him. He has very less followers. Well, cool. Okay, so if you are a fan of Curve Finance and stable coins, you need to know about it. If it is a game-changing decentralized stable coin that leverages the Curve's unique, LLMA algorithm, it is also a huge opportunity for VCurve and CFX holders to earn more fees and rewards. Okay, what is the Curve USD? Curve USD is a collateralized depth position stable coin, which means you can deposit collateral ETH and borrow Curve USD against it, right? So this is more like what we talked about, how DAI works, right? You put some collateralization, you have some collateral ratio, and then you mint the DAI token. Okay, so it is designed to be pegged to the US dollar and to have low slippage when swapping with the other stable coins on Curve. And how does Curve USD work? Curve uses Curve lending liquidating AMM algorithm, automated market maker algorithm, which is a novel way of managing liquidations and maintaining the peg. Okay, and then I mean, this talks more about in the detail how it works. And firstly, there are also some important use cases for Curve, how that will actually, while it is important to the Curve protocol as well, and why it is important for the DeFi ecosystem as well, because it's provide new options for stablecoins users who want to have decentralized and capital efficient stablecoins, definitely. And also leverages Curve's LLMA algorithm, which reduces the risk of liquidation and improves the stability of peg. Yeah, so there are definitely many benefits, and every benefits have some kind of backside as well. They haven't talked about it, but I hope so. There are some, and people are talking about it. So I guess it's up to you if you are interested in exploring more about Curve stablecoin Curve USD. Then you should definitely check it out, right? Now let's move forward to our next bonus stuff, that is Aave. Okay, so Aave, I hope you've heard of Aave. Aave is one of the most famous protocol out there. Okay, so yeah, so Aave also deployed their own native stablecoin. As I was saying, like the DeFi protocols is moving towards getting their own stablecoin, building their own stablecoin. So Aave also recently, also deployed their native stablecoin called GHO on the Ethereum testnet. It's not mainnet yet as I'm creating this video, but that will be soon mainnet as well. Maybe when you're watching this video, it is mainnet. Do your research, okay? So they have already deployed their native stable coin on Ethereum testnet, and they will also be soon going to get as on mainnet. The GH joins an incredible competitive space as rival DeFi protocols also issue or are moving to release their own protocol native stable coins, right? So everyone is on the race, and I guess we will see more of DeFi protocols or issuing their own stable coins in the future. Okay, so yeah, this is more about talking about the future stuff, what could happen, what could not happen. Okay, now let's move on to one of the thing that I wanted to share. That was, I guess, the GHO technical paper. So I found this technical paper. I hope you're able to see it. Yeah. So I found this technical paper on the Aave's website, Aave's blog forum. So it's a flexible, decentralized stablecoin, GHO. It is written by Emily Frenchla and Steven Valery. Steven is, I guess, the co-founder of the Aave. Okay. Yeah, so this is the summary. It's a whole introduction to GHO technical paper, how GHO works, and intended to maintain a stable value. Okay, so impact of any prices fluctuations, underlying collateral during the periods of valuation. GHO is, I guess, this is also over collateralized crypto asset, as it says, like, decentralized crypto asset intended to maintain a stable value, right? So it is also more of like, you know, working, I guess, almost same as DAI. Maybe there is something different, but yeah. This paper describes the fundamental characteristics of GHO. So if you're interested in learning about how this GHO thing is, then you should definitely check it out. Okay, so if you're a fan of stable coins, if you're a fan of Aave, I guess, and if you want to understand how this GHO is gonna work, then you should get through this white paper and you should check it out. Not gonna go, I haven't done my research, I just found out this white paper, so I guess I will have to read it first and maybe call someone from Aave to explain it to you guys. But yeah, I guess let's move on to our next topic. I will provide the link to this Aave doc in the description. It looks really interesting, so you should definitely check it out. Okay, now let's move on to our next bonus topic, that is the conclusion. Okay, so I guess we are almost done with our crash course. But yeah, before this, I would like to share you two things. So let's not conclude it. Okay. Okay, so the one thing that I wanted to share was this blog. Okay, this blog is from Hacker Noon. Hacker Noon is a shout out to Hacker Noon. They are a good website. They have good, amazing blogs. So this blog is actually talking about the different stable coins like GHO, and then we had this Curve USD as well. So it's actually compares all these stable coins, and this is actually a good blog that you should check out. And there's also a comparison chart like criteria, algorithmic, hybrid, that can handle multiple chains, deep liquidity pool. There is like advantage, disadvantage, usage. GHO is actually cross-chain interoperability and efficient liquidity provision for Curve USD, DeFi 6 ecosystem expansion. Okay. So yeah, integration with Circle CCTP. You remember we actually talked about Circle CCTP. So GHO is actually integrated with Circle CCTP, and then weaker governments. We have weaker weather governance token for Curve USD. Okay, and then yeah, there are a lot of things to go through. So I will provide you the link to I'm definitely going to provide you as much as link as possible, so that if you are someone who is like deeply interested into this topic, then you should have enough material to go through, right? So you can definitely check out this blog. And the other blog that I wanted to talk about is one of the blog from Vitalik. Okay, so two thought experiments to evaluated automated stable coins, right? So he wrote this blog, I guess, after the Luna crash, like the recent Luna crash, which led to tens of billions of dollars of losses, has led to a storm of criticism for algorithmic stable coins as a category, with many considering them to be a fundamentally flawed product. The greater level of security in DeFi financial mechanisms, especially that try very hard to optimize for capital capital efficiency, is highly welcome. Okay. Uh, what is an automated stable coins? Okay, so for the purpose of this post, an automated stable coin is a system that has following properties. One is it issues a stable coin which attempts to target a particular price index. Usually the target is 1 USD, but there are any other options. There is some targeting mechanism that continuously work to push the price towards that index. If it veers away in the other direction, this makes Ethereum and Bitcoin not stable coins. Definitely, yeah. Uh, the target mechanism is completely decentralized and free of protocol level dependencies. Particularly, it must not rely on asset custodians. This makes USDC and USDC definitely not automated stable coins. Yes, and the practice means the targeting mechanism must be some kind of smart contract which manages some reserves of crypto assets and uses those crypto assets to prop up the price if it drops. So rather than using Luna and that kind of ecosystem to incentivize people, maybe there will be some kind of smart contracts to do that kind of stuff, and rather than having some centralized authority behind the stable coin, we should have smart contracts just to make sure it's decentralized, right? And how does Terra works? You can go through deep into the stuff about how Terra worked and then how Rai works. Or if you remember, I gave you the homework of looking into how Rai actually works. So Rai is actually a good stable coin. Just like DAI. There are definitely some differences, so you should check out how Rai works, and yeah, do tag me on Twitter and LinkedIn after learning how DAI works, how Rai works. I would love to read your Twitter thread or your LinkedIn post. Okay. Uh, yeah, I mean, this is an interesting blog. You can check it out, and if there is any other blog, I will definitely share with you. Now, let's move on to our last thing, that is the conclusion of this whole, uh, you know, crash course on stable coins. So I've tried my best to cover all the things under this crash course, but maybe I have missed something, or maybe I haven't gone in deep. I don't know. You are the judge. Just write down in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this crash course. Now, coming on to the conclusion of the stable coins, I found this great line from Vitalik as well. Like, I mean, if you can make a stable coin that can actually survive anything up to and including the US dollar hyperinflation, I mean, recently when I'm creating this video, there is a lot of hype about US dollar hyperinflation. Balaji, the famous guy, talking about lot of how the US dollar is hyperinflated, and inflation is coming. The US bank crisis are coming, and if you can say so, there is a huge opportunity as well if you can create something that will feel like a lifeline for everyone going through that situation. That will be great. Uh, and and one more thing is that you can't just over reliance on one particular type of asset. That is actually bad. So for example, USDC is good. This is definitely a good stable coin, but there are systematic risk when you over reliance on a one particular type of asset. Like, if suppose if everyone starts using USDC, does that mean that maybe USDC could turn something into a lot of, it has a lot of political influence, or government is trying to get involved in that, or maybe there will be some controversial hard forks, or some good governance, like some kind of bad influence on the governance. So right, so that could happen. So mostly we need more hyperinflation resistant and globally accessible stable coin, right? This is, I guess, the one liner conclusion. We need hyperinflation resistant and globally accessible stable coin, right? Which can actually survive if there is any recession, US dollar hyperinflation, or whatever out there, right? It can survive that. And I guess that will be the most awesome stable coin in the market. And just to conclude again, like, there are definitely some kind of stable coins that are being created by the government as well. A lot of government is trying to create CBDCs, right? And then recently this Paris, like France government launched the CBDC, and there was like terrible things in in their smart contracts. And one thing that I really like about blockchain is that you can actually see the things. It's all transparent, right? So I really like blockchains. Okay. So, they had some kind of terrible mistakes, they had some kind of terrible functions, right? That people exploited and, posted on Twitter, and that was crazy, right? So, yeah, I mean, stable coins is one of the most, I guess, important topic that if you are in the crypto or in the Web3 industry, you should know about it. It is an integral part of Web3 and the whole DeFi ecosystem. I mean, DeFi ecosystem definitely can't sustain without stable coins. Yes, making a good statement. Yeah, but yeah, DeFi ecosystem can't sustain without stable coins. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this crash course. I guess I hope you liked this crash course, and I hope you will share it on Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm telling you a lot of time, but yeah, I'm not making any money out of it. So I would be grateful to you if you can share this, like this video, comment right now, and now you can comment how you like the video. Give me some feedback, or just complete the homework. I would be really happy to see if you complete the homework that I did and that I provided in the crash course, and if you can post it on LinkedIn and Twitter. And I said you maybe I will do some kind of giveaway, or maybe I will prize you, or you'll talk one on one, or yeah, whatever, whatever you want. Okay, cool. So thank you so much for watching, and stay happy and keep learning. And yeah, bye bye. Take care. Let's please stay tuned for another crash course. If you have any ideas, if you want a specific crash course or a specific video, I'm trying to be consistent more. So please comment in the comment section what next crash course you want. Okay. Okay. Let's not take more of your time. Bye bye. Take care. Yeah. Bye bye.